Welcome to Dr. PSV Balaji Rao. Welcome to this event today. For Dr. Balaji, can you turn on off camera, please? Yeah.
Good morning, Noita. I am Professor Balaji Rao.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you for coming to this event today.
Noita, it seems some
How
problem.
are you?
Good morning.
You can hear me, Doctor?
There is a lag in the what called the voice that is coming out. It seems there is a problem with the internet bandwidth.
Okay, just a moment, please. I will check for internet.
Yeah.
Noita, your internet got stuck.
Oh, hello.
Good morning. You
Makanya
can
lagi.
hear
Yeah, give me a time. Give me a time. I'll rejoin again, Novita.
now. Good afternoon, everyone. You can hear me now. I'm so sorry that the connection was so bad and we could hear each other. Oh. Yeah, good afternoon. Good morning, doctor. Oh, I can. You still unmute. Sorry. Pak, kedengaran suara aku enggak?
Yes.
Yeah, Novita, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. How about me? You can.
Yes,
My
yes. Now
voice?
it is okay. Now it is okay, Novita. Fine.
Okay. Sorry for that issue. Yeah, can we start for
Of course,
now?
of course, I am ready. I have a
Yeah.
PPT to share with. In between, I would like to start with understanding what is the situation there. Anyway, Novita, come on, let us start.
Okay. Yeah, good morning. First, to start this event today with good mood and run smoothly,
ಚಿನ್ನ, ನನಗೆ ಇದು ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಕಣ. ಇದು ಕ್ಲೋಸ್.
I will ask to pray first according to your own religion and belief. So, and word of knowledge. Before we start for guest lecture today, I would love to tell you we are going to listen opening speech from our dance from entrepreneurship department, Mr. Ahmad Zainuri. Then continue for presentation material from Dr. Balaji Rao as Professor Department of Business Administration from Vidyavardhaka College of Engineering. And the last session, we have Q&A session.
ಮಾಡಿ ನಾನು ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಲೋ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. Novita, again, there is a problem with the internet. Yeah, can you help me? Could you allow me to present with the other system? I have one more user ID logged in as Professor Balaji Rao. If you can allow me through that, that will help me a lot. There is one more user. If you can allow me to unmute myself and go with the presentation, I'll log out from this particular session.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Yeah, got it.
I'm sorry. I will check for this and for the next session, we have opening speech by Dance of Entrepreneurship for Mr. Ahmad Zainuri. You can take for opening speech. Thank you.
Okay, fine. All right. Novita, am I audible now?
Okay, thank you so much. Yes, okay. Thank you so much for Ms. Novita. Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You can call me Mr. Ahmad. I'm head of entrepreneurship study program in STEKOM University. Okay, the Honorable Mr. Dr. Joseph Agus Santoso, MCOM, as a rector of STEKOM University. The Honorable Mr. Professor Dr. PSV Balaji Rao as a Professor Department of Business Administration, the Honorable Ms. Novita as an International Affairs Division of STEKOM University, and also all of distinguished guests. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, may I first take this occasion to pay tribute to all of the audiences of this MOU signing between University of Science and Computer Technology or STEKOM University and Vidyavardhaka College of Engineering from India. It is a great pleasure and an honor for me to deliver this opening speech of MOU signing. May I first take this opportunity to express my gratitude and appreciation, as well as extend a cordial welcome to all of the audiences in today's event. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Indonesia has become a part of the global community so that the demands for dealing with the world community will be finally.
Okay.
Okay, I will continue. Ladies and gentlemen, Indonesia has become a part of the global community, so that the demands for dealing with the world community will infinitely increase. Therefore, in line with advances in communication technology, we are increasingly hearing the term global village. The word community is getting easier to communicate with each other like in village. The existence of free trade areas or free trade zones, such as the Asian Community 2015, CIFTA, AFTA, and the others require us to be able to compete with other countries. All parties agree that the fields of education has very large role in the development of nation, especially economic development. In the context of economic development, the role of formal education is very visible. If we are able to improve the level of education, then Indonesia will automatically be able to compete in all fields with other countries. This competition with other countries, of course, also applies in the words of universities. Universities in Indonesia, as one of the drive of the national development, are responsible for producing graduates who have deep and broad insights and skill both locally, nationally, and internationally, and are able to compete with graduates from other countries' universities. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, to improve the competitiveness of Indonesian universities with foreign universities, we need to seriously consider improving the quality of the universities. One way to improve the quality of this higher education is institution can be achieved more quickly is to establish cooperation with foreign universities that have a good reputation. Higher education internationalization is defined as a process in universities that integrates international component into the objective, functions, or delivery of education, including curriculum development and innovation, lecture and student exchange, development and expansion of study program, utilization of technological assistance of learning, cultural training, education for international students and research or co-publication. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Vidyavardhaka College of Engineering is a private university in India with the visiting lecture between STEKOM University and Vidyavardhaka College of Engineering is a form of commitment to implementation of the three dharma of higher education and also cooperation for LPPM and LPMI institution. This is done because it's a necessity to prepare and improve quality lecture at STEKOM University in particular and both parties in general. At the moment, it is implement cooperation agreements between the two parties in various fields, namely academic and research study opportunities, student exchange, short-term and long-term faculty exchange, delegation visit, and the other mutually agreed activities or programs. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, in closing, I would like to express my appreciation to the International Affairs Organization of STEKOM University and Vidyavardhaka College of Engineering for making this international relationship. I hope this collaboration can run well and good communication can be established. Okay, thank you, Ms. Novita. Please continue.
Yeah, thank you for Professor Ahmad for this opening speech. Yeah, and then we have presentation from Professor Balaji Rao. Yeah, for Professor Balaji, maybe you can start for presentation.
Yeah, sure, Novita. Thank you. And yes. Very good morning to you, all the participants there and all my faculty friends from Indonesia. Yes, just now I had a wonderful speech from Mr. Abdul, and I was very nice. It was nice to hear him. Before I start, let me check out. Is my voice audible? Anyone, could you help me out? Is my voice clear and audible? Yeah, Novita, is my voice audible?
Yeah.
Can I go with the presentation?
Yeah, you can start for presentation.
Okay, before I start, I would be happy if I would like to know a few of the professors who are there, and then start with the session with interaction with the students. So I believe these are all the participants apart from faculty or the students of undergraduation pursuing an international business management course. Am I right? Novita, I am clear. Is I am clear with what I am asking? Oh, right. Okay, fine. Novita, I would like to know the professors who are there in this particular meeting, and I would like to interact with them. And so I want to confirm that the participants are the undergraduation students from International Business Management course. Is that right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand my audience, and is my language and the speed is all okay? Is it okay? Am I reachable? Am I able to reach you all?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, so this tempo is fine now, so that all of you can catch me up.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So I would like to start with my presentation, what I have, and then slowly get on to the team what we were supposed to. Right, and fine. Let me start with the presentation what I have here. Is my screen shared, Novita?
Yeah, I can see for your self screen. Sorry.
Yes, yes. So before I go, before I start, my dear students there, very good morning, and faculty, once again, a very good morning. So today I am fortunate and I am really delighted to share my insights and thoughts about giving you what exactly is human resource management and how it has evolved and transformed into what it is today. So before I start, I would like to know from few of the participants there, how is the situation in Indonesia with respect to your what called offline classes or the kind of the COVID environment, how you are feeling? Because in India, we are slowly now recovering and we are coming to their normal life. How about there in Indonesia?
In Indonesia, for now is use online class because pandemic era, so we can offline class. Sorry. Wait, normal.
Yeah, is the audience not allowed to interact, Novita? Hello.
Yeah, for that we can have a Q&A session at the last after our presentation. Yeah.
Okay, see, as I keep presenting now, if we interact, that will be much more lively is what we feel. So that is the reason I was asking, is the audience allowed to interact? And before that, I want to get used to with the audience. Therefore, I'm asking few questions to them, like how is the situation there? What do they perceive? If I can know that, then I can tune my lecture according to the target group, what it was, right? So is there any chance, any audience, could you kindly speak out? How do you feel? What do you expect from this session? Okay. Hello, am I audible?
I'm sorry for my connection. It's a bad. Maybe you can start for presentation and
Hello, Miss Novita.
yeah.
Why you unmute me? Why do you unmute me? Why do you unmute me? Is it any problem?
No. Thank you for the science.
Okay, so I can mute my microphone.
Yeah, you can. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, let me start. For doctor, maybe you can start presentation.
Yeah. Yeah. Somashekar sir, is my voice perfect and am I able to reach the audience?
Yeah.
Okay, madam. See, I would like to interact with the group what it is there, but somehow it seems some bandwidth problem or some kind of hesitation. So let me start with my presentation. Well, my dear colleagues there and student friends, let me tell you that today the very important role of managing anything in this world depends on how you manage people. And when I speak about people, I'm indirectly referring to the people as an asset. And that's why today we are asked to discuss on a concept called human resource management. Now, what is this? And why should I learn about this? And how important it is for a UG student to understand the very nature of human resource management and how he can have a career contributing for his individual growth, for the organizational growth, and on the whole, at the growth of their nation. So today's session will have all the concepts which gives the fundamentals or the conceptual idea about what human resource management is all about. And during my session, I'll be going through a brief introduction, and then I'll talk about what is HRM, that is human resource management, and how dynamic it is. And later, our students will understand how it got its significance over a period of time, and then what actually the HRM will do or will perform when it is doing its job, and then a generic model of HRM, that is human resource model, and finally what are the career opportunities if a student opts HRM or human resource management as his career as his tool for his career growth. So now, before I start, that's what I don't know whether I'm exactly reached to you or not. I would like to know when it comes to purely about the core, about the program, what you are learning. We are talking something about the corporate world or the business world. And any of you out there, could you tell me that what are all, could you name some of the successful corporate companies in your country, that is Indonesia? Yeah, anybody from the audience? Could you name out a few companies from your country where you rate it as the most successful one? Yeah. Yes. Anybody there? Okay, Novita, I'm audible, na? Novita?
Yeah, how may I assist you?
Okay, I'm clear now. I'm audible, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't hear you because my internet is so bad. Can you repeat again a little bit?
No, I just want to know from the audience to name a few companies which are more successful in Indonesia.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, we
That's
can
okay.
see that. Yeah, sorry.
It's okay, fine. So let me start with stating few companies that are successful, that are not to the mark and still in the progress in my country, that is India. So normally when you talk about a business organization, we classify them as a successful organizations yet to succeed, and organizations which are stable and which are outstanding is what, let me make it out. So one such big company in India, what we can talk about is Reliance Industries, then Johnson and Johnson, and then Visions of Technologies, then Indian ITC, and then Dr. Reddy's Lab, HSBC Bank, or the few corporate companies which we see more successful in our country. And then the least successful, as per the financial performance data from the 2018 report, we can see Kolleru Paper Mills, then Agri-Fuel Chemicals Limited, Binny Mills, Panium Cements, or few, a lot, which has to progress a lot when compared to the successful companies. On the other hand, apart from the successful and least successful, there are some companies which are outstanding, which has performed outstandingly, and those are Infosys Technologies, Wipro.
Yes. Hello, sir.
Yeah, please.
Yes, sir. I'm Dr. Guraj from Computer Science, your colleague. So the
Yeah.
thing is, usually the participants are answering the questions in the chat window. You can check the chat window. Almost all the participants are responding, sir. Kindly check the chat window, sir.
No, that is what I was not able to understand. I was just having a doubt whether I am
Yeah.
reachable or not. That's fine.
Even the students, like there is a student called Rajeshwari. She's very active. I think she's applying for each and every question. Please check the chat window, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, that's fine, Aman. That's fine. Now I'll do that.
Yes, sir. Yes. And you're audible and it's perfectly going on, sir. Please go ahead, sir. Sorry for the interruption, sir.
It's okay, Gururaj. Thank you. Thank you for the feedback.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, thank you. And okay, dear students, I was talking about the corporate companies in India and how do we see. Now, this basically is what we understand as a professors and academicians in our research, what made them successful, what makes other companies to work more, and what makes the other company to be outperforming. That is what the introduction slides is what I would like to start with. So therefore, as of the data, what we have statistics based on the 2018, that is before pandemic, we see the outperforming companies or Infosys Technologies, Wipro, Tata, Birla, Gujarat Gas. And when it comes to the investment and the kind of what you call the managerial activities or the kind of strategies all these companies have are unique in its own and quite benchmarking. But yet, why is that we are classifying them and reclassifying them as successful, least successful, and outperforming? Here is what I bring the concept of what you call it as the people management or human resource management. Well, Tisco is one of the another company which was outperforming. So now, my dear students, how is that? That's what I would like to bring out and make you understand what brings success to an organization and what makes an organization still to progress. So it is here that's what those companies which I stated as more successful are the one which unleash human potential for innovation and sustainable growth. That is, they are able to and capable of unleashing the human potential, and that kind of unleashing the human or exploiting the human potential or the employees in their organization through their policies, strategies, and the the business environment, the work environment, what they create, all has made their employees truly come out with their potential, and that has resulted in an innovation and a long-term growth. And that too, the growth is not up and down; it's a sustainable growth. So there comes the key, what called the people management or the last decade and all. It is also referred to as human resource management. So my dear audience, I believe you understand how important managing the human potential or the talent of an employees or the people at workplace, and that is how these companies are successful. And now let us see what exactly is stated by a few CEOs of a few companies when they were sharing what exactly they were doing and what their strategies with respect to people management is all about. So they say that successful business houses sees themselves as citizens of society and accept some degree of social obligation. So an organization today has changed the way how it used to look a previous decades and all. Now, when we talk about a business and an organization, a business itself, we think it is something called profit making agency, or a profit making should be the goal or the motto of that organization. But now the trend has changed. Today, every business organization and corporate sector, corporate companies feel they are a part of a society, and it is their responsibility is to make or is to see that they help in developing a healthy citizens, and also make citizens oblige social obligations for the nation's stability and economic growth. So this is what now the corporate agenda and the corporate mantra is all about. Now, when it comes to the philosophy of the philosophy that drives all the corporate worlds and even any successful business organization is all about their focus is taking care of their employees, and in turn the employees take care of their customers, and in turn customers take care of their business, and finally the business takes care of the stakeholders. So this is how these are interlinked. There are four entities in this. The one of an entity is the employee, and the other entity is the customer, and the other entity or the stakeholders. So when we talk about these three entities, what was the successful companies believe in is that let's take care of our employees in all its means and always try to see our employees are happy and satisfied so that they deliver the best in the organization. And this in turn made employees realize their responsibility and ultimately discharge their best for their customer satisfaction. And obviously, the more the customers are served, the degree of high degree of customer satisfaction, the better, the higher is the customer footprints into our business and the transactions with our any business organization. And the more the business, the more the business transactions happens in one or the other form, the better is the returns to the business. And finally, all the investors, that is the stakeholders, right from government, society, and the business owners or the shareholders, all will get their benefits or the returns for their investments and effort. Now, this is what the statement which was shared by Richard Branson, who actually coined out saying that take care of your employees and they will take care of your business. It is as simple as it. So now the very mantra of any company or any corporate structure, corporate company to succeed is to see that their employees are happy and satisfied. Now, how is that? How is that they can do that? and how they can derive the satisfaction of their employees, there should be one department or there should be one group that should be focusing on these activities of deriving the employee satisfaction, ensuring employee happiness, and making the best out of them or getting the best out of their employees. Such department is what we call it as human resource department or people management department. Now it has turned out into different names, but let's start the generic name called human resource management department, or in our Indian terms we call it as the HR department. So this is how the role of HR department has turned crucial in the days to nowadays for any success of their business organization. Now, the diagram seems to be, the image seems to be very much thought-provoking is what I believe. And I believe you can guess why is this. Now, what is that as a HR department I'll be doing? And what activities do normally HR department will be designing? And what is their role? The morning they enter into the office, by the time they come out, what are all the activities they'll be focusing on? So before that, let's understand that there is a diversity in the workplace and no two individuals will think in the same way. And let me tell you, my dear participants, that when an employee comes into an organization, it is believed that he'll bring all his knowledge, his skills, and discharge the best in the workplace. But along with that, he brings some other things. He brings his emotions. He'll also bring his what you call the relationships, and all these put together makes an employee unique in his workplace. And therefore no two employees, though having a same qualification, same merit or a degree of knowledge, will perform similarly in a given situation because of the addition of emotions, the importance of relationships, and what you call it as a complex interaction between the various variables makes them come out with a better things, or at times may not be. So therefore all our HR department activities will start its initial steps at understanding what is this HR and why a person behaves in this way when it comes to a task or an event. For example, some employees feel coming to office because they are recognized, they are rewarded, and they are given more of recognition and other things. Whereas the other employee may feel that no, it's for sake of rewards or in the sake of monetary benefits I am there. For somebody else, it may be a different task or a different enthusiasm factor that keeps pushing us to what you call come to the workplace and discharge our best. Now, having these things, what is important for an HR to think about and which areas he has to focus on? Normally, whenever it comes to a workplace, we focus generally we want our employees to be healthy and also physically strong enough to discharge the best and to deliver the best in the workplace. Along with that, not only a physical fitness, but also the psychological fitness, or the psychologically he should be sound enough. He should be calm enough to understand and discharge the best. He should come out with an enthusiasm. So therefore, our HR activities directly or indirectly keep influencing the psychological concept of a human behavior. Or let me tell, it talks about the behavior, therefore psychology, the knowledge of psychology is very much important. And also it is, as I was telling, physically also an employee need to be sound and strong. Therefore health concepts, safety measures, all those things are one our HR will be focusing on. And moreover, as I was telling you just now, a few quoted examples, or like if we go to the office and if we feel isolated, we don't feel like working in that place, because we as a human beings are love to be socialized. We need somebody to tap us, somebody to motivate us, somebody to share our feelings. Now, isn't it? So therefore, we have a good friends network or a relationships and etc. So therefore our HR activities nowadays in the current trend is also focusing on building a strong social group. And this building of strong social groups will help HR to make employees understand their own goals and their purpose, and also the purpose why they are in the workplace and what the workplace expects from them. So having these two things understood, the HR designs a policy and strategies in such a way that the individual's goals and the organizational goals both are mapped and matched together, so that at the end of the financial year, both the employee feels he has achieved what he wants for his personal growth, and also the organization feels we have done well as a group and achieved what we want. So that's why today's HR even talks about the group dynamics. And now this is an old concept that I would like to tell you, and still yet there were days where HR is treated as a cost center, and it was assumed that it's only an expenses, and the HR's role is just to keep record of employees attendance, designing a payroll, or making a salary slip, etc., which is more of administrative in nature. And during that time, it is assumed totally that the HR is a cost center, or the human resource management department is a cost center. But over a period of time, as I told you, that the companies yet to succeed, the successful companies and the outperforming companies, studying them, understood that employees are no more a cost center, but they are the assets of an organization. Therefore, now the economic concept came into this picture, and hence, as a HR, the policies also were designed in such a way that even the employee is treated as a resource. And now that's why we get human resource management. So here the human beings, or we the people, are treated as a resource, but not as a resource similar to that of a commodity or a product which normally a business generates. But our resources are the one which is an asset to the organization. And lastly, after the pandemic, and no, not only a pandemic, but later after 2010, we see a lot of change in the HRM roles and activities, where even the spiritual concept was brought into the what you call the policies of HR designing, where they find the importance of spirituality for the mental well-being of the employees, so that not only as an individual in an organization, but as a member in of a family or a society, the employee is sound and productive. So my dear friends, that let me put out very clearly that as a HR department, I'll be focusing on designing the policies, strategies, rules, regulations, etc., that guides me and drives me to achieve employees' overall personality growth, and draw the best from the employees, so that they contribute for their own growth, they contribute for the organizational growth, and lastly, they contribute for their own societal growth. To design this, I need a knowledge from psychology, and I also need a knowledge of the fundamentals of health sciences. And then I should understand the dynamics of an individual when he is in a group, and the importance of relationships. And also I should understand and I should have the knowledge of understanding human resource, or the intelligence, the knowledge, the talent, let me put out, as an economic resource or an intangible resource to an organization. Finally, to balance all these three and bring out into practice, an individual also need a spiritual enlightenment, and therefore HR designs or policies that support all these four domains that are designed by by having a knowledge of all these four domains. So my dear students, if you at all you want to have a career in HR, now understand that it's always better you have a domain knowledge or overall bird's eye view of all these four domains. Now, let me define what human resource management is all about. having understood what the previous case is all about, now let me tell you that human resource management or human resource, let me take the word human resource and tell you that it is nothing but the people in an organization who are here to design, to carry out various jobs, tasks, and functions. And why should an employee come to an organization and work for the sake of his mutual benefits? That is, he can expect something in the form of wages, in the form of salaries, or in other forms of rewards. So therefore, human resource is defined as those people or the talent pool which an organization has to discharge various events, activities of a business transaction, of a business event for the mutual benefits of both the parties involved is defined as human resource. Now then, what is human resource management? When I talk about human resource management, it is that comprehensive set of managerial activities and the tasks concerned with developing and maintaining a qualified workforce in ways that contribute to organizational effectiveness. So this is how the currently we define human resource as human resource management. When it comes to human resource, I talk about the talent pool. And when it comes to human resource management, it is a set of managerial activities which, as a manager, I keep practicing, I keep demonstrating for the sake of developing and maintaining a qualified workforce. And this qualified workforce has a contribution directly for the organization success. And thereby, we define human resource management as a comprehensive set of managerial activities and tasks concerned with developing and maintaining a qualified workforce in ways that contribute to organizational effectiveness. Right? So good. Now, do you see any organization practicing this, or did you witness any such organizations in your own country adopting this kind of practices? If so, could you kindly make it out on the chat box? Yes. Yeah. Yeah, my dear audience, hope I'm reaching you. Yes. Yeah, I think most companies implement that. Sir. Fantastic. Oh, Rajesh, fantastic. Great. Thanks for the feedback. So now, when it is, most companies do follow it. I believe HRM is well practiced in your country. And yes, now let us see what is the focus of HRM activities. So before I start, let me tell you that as a human being, the talent of an individual, the intelligence or the knowledge of an individual is classified into two categories, which an individual demonstrates based on his knowledge or a skill or what he has learned. One is called soft skills, the other one is called hard skills. Now, as a HR, I am going to understand what are the hard skills that is needed for a job and what are the soft skills that are needed for a job. Accordingly, I'll design my organization structure. I'll come to that later. Before that, let us understand what is this hard skills and soft skills. When I talk about hard skills, it's all about a person's job specific abilities or knowledge, which are learned through our education, through for individual's experience, and in the form of a training. Please remember, like our qualification, your UG program qualification, or my MBA qualification. All these things are the qualifications which I acquired by pursuing an education of 2 years or 5 years. Thereby, through that education, I have gained the knowledge related to management. Am I right? So like that, any job to perform requires some knowledge, basic knowledge, and some abilities or capabilities, which any individual or a student will acquire through his education. And for somebody who is uneducated, but yet he is able to discharge, it is through his experience. And for some, it is through training. And those kind of concepts that come under this category are called hard skills. And now then, what is soft skills? Soft skills are the one part which talks about an individual and a group. And therefore, it is nothing but refers to the traits an individual demonstrates. That the traits what is demonstrated will have a positive effect on building relationship in the workplace or in a place where an individual is discharging his responsibilities. Please remember, soft skills are nothing but the traits that an individual demonstrates or the characters what an individual demonstrate, so that what the character or the behavior what an individual has demonstrated will have a positive effect. That is very important on his approach of building relationship in the workplace, what he is intended, where he is intended to discharge his responsibilities. Yes, so that is how those skills all come under soft skills. Now, when it comes to hard skills, yes, your university certification, your examination system, your degrees, all these things certify you, endorse you that you have these hard skills, like your proficiency in software skills in Excel, SPSS, analytics softwares, etc., and your ability of learning a new languages, your programming skills, your ability of manipulating machines, etc. Apart from that, your degree and certifications, all these things fall under the category of hard skills. So as a HR, my job is my first job is to see what kind of activities need to be discharged in a workplace, classify them. After classifying, I'll be identifying what are the hard skills and what are the soft skills needed. When it comes to soft skills, if you look into this, the total part is different, and this is quite a different thing. One is that communication, the other one is the leadership abilities, leadership qualities of an individual, and how flexible the individual is, and how good the individual is willing to share his knowledge, talent for the success of the group, that is collaboration. And lastly, the teamwork, how good the individual pushes himself in the team. So this is all. These are the one which an individual should demonstrate as a trait in the workplace, which we call it as a soft skills. So though a student have a hard skills, it doesn't mean he is always recruited or he is successful in his workplace if he is not having the soft skills expected to the expected level. Therefore, any job that we design or any policy that we come out as a HR, we keep this as a background or the backset or a backdrop in the mind, and accordingly we'll start designing the human resource activities. So this is what a human resource will be focusing on. Now let me talk about the other concept of HR as a model. Now we have various models in HR, and I don't want to get into specific models because HR over a period of time has evolved and transformed itself into a different states. Let me tell you, like initially, as I was telling, HR's role was completely administrative, right? So let me tell you a small example which we had here as a case study or whatnot. Let us have an understanding. See, I'm a consultant to a few companies. I know few HRs. So there was a company which manufactures all automobile spare parts in my place, that is Mysore. Okay, so I had a chance of visiting that company and interacting with them. Now, that day when I was there interacting with the HR of that particular organization, there was an employee, there was the assistant HR who is reporting to him stating that an employee from the finance department, the assistant manager of finance department, is not reporting to duty for the past 1 month. Yeah, please listen to me carefully. This is a live example what I am sharing. When my interaction with an automobile industry, I found an employee that is an assistant manager from the department of HR is reporting to the HR manager, stating that an employee from finance department is not reporting to the duty for almost the past 30 days or a month. And this young HR is asking the chief HR that he should be given a permission to issue a so-cause notice to that employee for his absence in the job. Do you understand me what I'm trying to tell you? When this is happening, I was observing what will be the reaction from the chief HR. And the chief HR, almost the top level manager, he said, no, Mr. So-and-so, it's not right for me to immediately issue a so-cause notice to an employee who is absent for the past 1 month. What you do is, you take off today in the evening at around 3 o'clock, go to his home, check out why he is absent. Is that not something? It was something amazing for me. What is this HR is doing? When an employee is not reporting for past 1 month without any notice or without any intimation, and why is this chief HR is hesitating to give a notice to him for his absence when the young HR is asking him to give permission? And later, what happened is this HR went to his employee's home, and he found that this employee is struggling to pull money for his wife's ill health. I think you know when I talk about ill health, and the recent pandemic has really shattered us, and the kind of expenditure what we spent on our health is above the level of a middle class man, right? So therefore, this manager from this employee from the finance department, for the past 1 month, he is struggling moving around the hospitals. He is struggling moving around to pool money for his wife's health, to take care of his wife's healthcare needs. And the same is reported next day to the chief HR. And you know what the HR has done? The chief HR has done a wonderful thing, that is, he spoke to the MD of the company, the board of the company, and immediately arranged the financial requirements what the employee from the finance department needs for his wife's hospital expenditure, and also has ensured that a minimum what you call safety needs or the minimum financial needs are met for the employee who is absent for the past 1 month. Now, tell me, is the chief HR right, or is the assistant manager in HR department right? Who is right in this context? Is it right taking and calling for an action on an employee who is indisciplined? Or yes, the chief was right. Thank you, Rajeshwari. So thank you very much. Now the chief was right. Why? Why is that the chief is right? Because because it gives the notices, it gives bad impact. Employee career self, please approach the first option. And yeah, that's good. That's good. A great answer. But now, as a HR, as an employee of an organization, as a man who is taking care of personal department, I normally believe that if somebody is absent for 1 month without any notice or any other thing, don't you think my company's progress or work got affected? Because every employee's value or a contribution is of higher importance than any other things. Correct? If that is the case, if an employee is not turning up and I am not taking any kind of notice and still helping him, is it not that I encourage an indiscipline in them? Yeah, this is a question of thought provoking to you all. But what, as Rajeshwar said, it's all that the chief, what he has taken a decision is right, understanding the employee's needs and then making it up. So this is how I would like to tell you that over a decades, almost all last 4 or 5 decades, the HR has transformed from personal management to human resource management, and now it is people management. So it is not the rules and regulations sticking it to it, but it's all about how you make your employee feel comfortable in the organization, feel happy, and contribute, deliver the best voluntarily without any what you call fear of punishment or loss of job. So good. Rajeshwar, it's fine. You're good. Thanks a lot. Your inputs is giving me a lot of energy to come back with a kind of more enthusiasm to deliver. Fine. So now let us see how the HR model is defined today. Now, as an young graduate, you can manage rules. Yes. So now what happens is that when we are about to start, or when you are about to start your career in your with HR as a specialization, let's look what and all the various activities that you are supposed to perform. And you can't do all, but yes, you can choose one specialization or one area, become an expertise, and then start exploring the other fields. So let me start with that. When defining the HR model of now, is the slide moving? Josh? No. How about now? Yes, how about now? Is it moving? No. Let me check out. Yes, thank you. So Novita, thank you. So now let us see that when we talk about the HR and its model, any HR model depends upon the company or the business organization and its scale of operations. So basically, let it be a small, like a startup or a big corporate company, the first input to design a HR model is all based on the business environment in which the business is operating. And that business environment, as you all may be aware of, or is grouped into two categories. One is external and the other one is internal. So internal factors are all localized, and it talks much about the talent pool, what is available here in that particular place. And the external factors are the one which indirectly affects the business but has its impact directly on its performance or function of a business, like the role of government, the role of unions, right? And the role of the environment variables, the climate conditions, all these matters. There are a lot of factors that we call it as the factors that influence externally a business and the factors that affects internally a business. Having understanding both these things, the HR will then decide what will be his mission and what are the objectives for which the HR department should achieve. Start same 5 minutes ago. Okay, fine. Let me see. I believe this is going on now. The slide still. Josh, now check it out. If not, I'll try to rectify it. So now the organization, the HR departments, once they understood their business environment, then they decide what is that they have to discharge in a time-free period. Let it be short-term, let it be long-term. What I, as a HR department, I have to achieve in the coming next 2 years, next 3 years, and 5 years, down the line 10 years, where they would like to see their organization and its manpower. So that there comes the issue of identifying the mission statement for the from the HR department, and what are the short-term goals or the objective, what are the objectives with which they design a policy and all. And then they also work on identifying the goals which they need to achieve in the current, I think, professor still not moving. Rajeshwari, yes, Amma. How about now? Is that okay?
I can see your presentation, but
okay.
For text only. May I know?
Madam, is that answered to Mr. Josh? Okay, so madam, that's working now. Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, I believe it is working now. Josh, yes. So now the other part of it is once the HR defines its mission, its goals, short term, long term, then it will come into a kind of designing its own structure. What should be the levels, or we call it as tier 1, tier 2 levels. So top management, middle level management, lower middle level management, supervisory cadre, like that. And how many should it have a matrix type of organization, or it should be a decentralized organization, a centralized way of communication. That there are different types of organization structures. Based on the needs, the HR will decide which kind of structure is needed to be more. And more important, nowadays, HR is crucial in designing the strategies at the corporate level. And therefore, as a HR, it's important. As I told you, that take care of your employees, in turn, they take care of their customers, and customers will take care of the business stakeholders. Now, since these three entities interact with each other in a very complex environment, anything what a company needs or a corporate company needs to achieve depends upon how good they plan and strategize. And there were days where HRM doesn't have a much role to play. Now, without HR, there is nothing. Now, let me quote an example. Like if you take companies like Google or Amazon, right, Flipkart, what is their asset? And if you look into their balance sheet, or let me tell you the top 500 companies in any country, developed nations or developing countries like us, you see that the asset part is much now for the last 10 years is the human resource, and not the assets, physical assets, what they have. So therefore, my dear participants, understand that HR has a much role in designing the strategies at the corporate level. And now, when it comes to delivery of function, the HR functions are classified into two. One, managerial roles, and the other one is operative roles, or the operative functions. When it comes to managerial functions, as you all know, planning, organizing, directing, controlling are the few important basic functions of management. Apart from that, the operative functions which we can feel is all about selection of right candidate or a qualified candidate, a right person at a right time in a right place, and then grooming the future talent, nurturing the talent to meet the future business challenges. It provides the best employee. You want to make sure employees have. Oh, great, Ajeshwar, very great, very great. Thanks for the inputs. So the other part is all about the operative functions of HRM is also to see that the employees are paid or rewarded in the manner what they expect, and in the manner where they feel they are recognized and they get the best out of what their contribution. And all this put together, the major function that comes is building a strong collaborative teamwork or team efforts. So all the operative functions of HR in nowadays organization, you see, or their energies are focused on these four major inputs. Now, coming back again in the further debriefing about the HRM functions, we can identify these generic functions in any business organization. And the first one among that is recruitment. In simple words, we call that is acquisition or employment. The other one is nurturing the future talent, that is human resource development. And very important now, as the competition keeps increasing, we have to retain our employees so that we don't lose him to our own competitor. Because an employee works with us for 3-4 years, and then later, if our competitor is offering him a better package or a better rewards, there is every chance this employee will jump over there. Or even an employee sees that there is no growth further for him in a particular organization, obviously he tries to move it to the organization where he finds bigger opportunities. Now, in order to curb and in order to avoid such kind of loss or losing, or to reduce attrition or whatnot, we have to focus the employees focus much on retention strategies. One such retention strategy is all about the employee remuneration or the rewarding system. Now, the other part of it is all about, there are situations where, as we said, that an employee doesn't come as a physical being, but he comes with emotions. He comes with his all kind of influences, integrated influences of behavioral and what you call psychological analysis or psychological impact. So therefore, what happens here is employee engagement and drawing the best out of an employee is also one of an important functions nowadays. It's not that I have selected a right candidate, I put him in a right place by providing him enough training and all. Now he has to discharge. No, you have to see the well-being of the employee in a work environment, and there comes HR engagement and utilization function, and later talent management function. And the other important, when it comes to manufacturing sector in India, service sector do have the what called relationship part, but we witness this in more manufacturing sectors where there is a concept called industrial relations and legislations. So these are the major 6 functions which you find in any of the organization where the HR will generally be designing policies, strategies, and activities related to this. Now, let us get into each of this and understand what each function will do. Now, as a HR, when I was, my job is to select a right candidate at a right place in a right time so that he discharges the best and both the employee as well as the organization get the mutual benefits. In such case, we have one department among the HR as a whole is all that department which involves in planning, which is very much crucial in designing the jobs. So in order to perform a business transaction or a business activity, there are n number of business transactions or activities need to be done. So in a job design, they group these activities and identify as a job of a supervisor, job of a manager, job of a recruiter. Like this, they just identify different jobs. And accordingly, they write the job specification, they write the job description, so that when it is recruitment need to happen, they'll be giving clearly the job design, job specification, to their assessment centers, and finally pulling out a right candidate, or let me say screening out a right candidate, later do the recruitment process and other things. So at the basic step, what the HR people does at the initial stage before recruitment notification, what they do is they design the jobs in such a way that the entire purpose of the business is achieved. And accordingly, later they plan when to recruit, what kind of people, what is the best we can extract out of them, and exact time and place, and also how to utilize a manpower resource is what they do in HR planning. And once they have these 2 things in hand, later followed by a notification to the public saying that there is a vacancy for a position, having the job specification, describing the job, what is expected, all these things are notified, and prospective right candidates where or a talent pool is attracted in the form of receiving resumes, profiles from the candidates. Once that is done, the interview process happens, later a selection happens, and once the selection is done, there will be a kind of orientation or a training initially happens to the new employees. During that process, the HR will identify a right fit for each and every employee, and accordingly he will put them into those departments, into those positions, which we call it as an induction, and later on they keep working on the placements, the placement in the sense that giving a right job to a right person at a right location. So all these requires a strategy, a plan, a principles, rules, regulations, etc. So any student who has a enthusiasm to learn these skills and discharge these skills, so then the recruitment or the acquisition department of HR will do this. Then followed by HR development. So then HR development is nothing but nurturing your talent pool. So when I talk about this, the first and the foremost that comes into this place is all about performance management. As a HR, you have to design different performance evaluation techniques. You have to assess the performance of an employee. Remember, while designing a performance analysis tools, implementation of performance analysis or evaluation process, and also while assessing the performance, there should be a rationality among the employees, among that the policies should be rational to all the employees, right from the shop floor to the what you call the members at the board level. So performance management system is such system in an HR which works on designing the system in such a way that all employees feel that there is a rationality practice and everyone is given an equal opportunity to grow and contribute. And later during the performance appraisal, once the output comes after the performance evaluation, the HR will find out the training need analysis, in which areas a section of employees need training, in which areas the section of the employees need to strengthen their knowledge and skills. Also, understanding the marketing departments or the other inputs from the other departments, a HR will design a training program to meet the future needs or the future needs of the customers in the days to come. Okay, so then again comes a training program is for the people at the shop floors or at the skill base. When it comes to leadership and other things where it want to train the managers about tier 2 level, then comes the management development programs or MDPs. Later, now the new addition to the HR department, which is not there in personal management or previously, is all about career counseling, what they call it as career planning and development. In the career counseling part, an employee is counseled and he is made aware that the opportunities available for him by being there in that particular organization, what and all he can explore further for his individual growth in whatever form, in the knowledge form, in the monetary form, or in with terms of relationship, etc., etc. There will be a career counselor, keep guiding. So this helps an employee understand himself and he understands his own workplace. Thereby, he plans and he plans for a long-term relationship with the employer. And finally, it's all that the HR development activities make our employees get ready for the future challenges. As you all know, the business is dynamic in nature, right? It operates in a VUCA world. And therefore, we don't know from where a challenge comes, how a risks are escalated in a workplace at what point of time. So therefore, the HR department always keep training its make its employees ready to take up any challenge under any kind of risk, so that the business as well as the employees progress is continuous and we witness a sustainable growth. So followed by the employee remuneration system. As I was trying to tell you, it's all that for some needs we go to a workplace and work. So maybe because of salary or because of some kind of incentives what we expect, and somebody works even for a social security, to have a social security for themselves as well as their family, and fringe benefits, safety and health, job evaluation, all these things comes under a concept of remuneration, or what we call it as a rewarding mechanism in our system. So anybody goes to a work having mutual expectations, right? I come to this workplace so that I feel satisfied, my knowledge and skills are recognized, and obviously to run my life I need a money, so therefore a salary. So like that, based on the need, based on the see in the business environment or the climate, business or the location and the climate where a business operates, all these factors varies from one location to the other location. If you look the same institutions, educational institutions, what the salary, what we get may differ from the institution which is neighboring to us. It all depends on the kind of HR strategies what each and every organization do have. And then the other part of it is all about how is that I engage my employees. High paid salaries and talented pool is recruited, but yet the outcome of the business is low. What may be the reason? Here comes the psychology, sociology part of our HR, where we try to see that employees are motivated, or our policies, our activities in the workplace are so good enough that they motivate an employee and make him to work to his best. And the leadership is so good that always an employees feel that they flourish under the leadership of XYZ because of the policies of the company. and there is a transparent and open communication system in place is what to be ensured, and every employee should be heard. He should feel he is recognized, his inputs are taken while designing the organizational strategy or a group goals. And then employee empowerment, and see, this is where comes delegation of authority and all. There are certain still companies which are monotony, which are of world school, where the entire authority of delegation, where authority of discharging will be located centrally at one location. The more the employees are empowered, the more we observe the companies come out with innovation, creativity, and you can see those companies report and record for patents and etc. And lastly, the quality circle forum, which again a quality a forum of which we normally found in organizations where employees voluntarily get together, talk about reducing the minimizing the wastages, improving the quality of output what they are trying to do. It's very simply I'm telling what quality circles are. But let me tell you, this particular part is one where HR policies or the practices have a direct impact. And if this employee engagement and utilization is to the best, then obviously the company flourishes like anything. And we always see our company outperforming than what our expectations are. And the other part of it is the legal obligations, so that there are business organizations where they try to exploit the innocence and the need of the employees. So to avoid such things, the caretaker of citizens of the nation, the government and the other parties will involve as a stakeholder and try to see that employee exploitation is completely zero or avoided. For that, there is one such kind of section in the HR department where it deals much with the legal obligations of the business with respect to the conduct of the business, with respect to the individual's growth and development, so individual's commitment. So this one on one end ensures the workplace safety, and it ensures that the workplace hazards are reduced. It also ensures a very healthy workplace environment wherein an individual feels comfortable in working. So for that, there are certain rules, regulations, legal laws are there, the maternity leaves, the maternity benefits, sick leaves, etc., all fall under this. So a person handling this should have a thorough knowledge of the legalities, what is involved in that particular location or in that particular country about the commitment towards its employees. And also the role of unions and associations. Now in India, I see the role of unions have considerably come down, as the best practices of HR is very much implemented in majority of the organizations. Even in manufacturing sectors, we don't see the impact of unions as we used to observe last 2 decades back, because of all the healthy practices the HR department has brought in, and the openness and transparency is ensuring the role of unions is minimized only to an extent of getting a good harmonious relationship with the employers. And then the other part of it is all grievance and discipline mechanism. Obviously any workplace will have a kind of 1 or 2 elements which always creates nuisance, which is who creates a kind of indiscipline. So how is that to be managed, and what are the set of procedure or rules and regulations a company can implement so that they obey the local law, and also they abide to the requirements of the legislation of that particular country. And moreover, conflict management is another one such thing which is very, very important. Conflicts happens between the groups in the organization, or between a group from the organization and between the external agency in the same locality. So in such cases, HR should be thorough with the techniques of conflict management, and also HR should know how to bargain, or negotiation skills is what we look at. So this is called collective bargaining. This happens when you want to talk with your unions and other employee groups, or with other stakeholder groups which has a direct impact, or which which impacts, which has an influence on the very running of the business. For example, I can quote is that there is a distillery farm. Now all the waste from that particular distillery farm need to be pushed into the local sewage canal. Now this has polluted the surrounding places and the water bed level. So suddenly the group around the in and around the location of the working premises or the factory started fighting with the organization, ensuring that it should be closed. But during that time, the role of HR is very much evident, and thereby comes the collective bargaining techniques. So the company involves in one or the other part of what you call substituting the loss which the society is making because of its business operations. And finally, HR accounting. So HR accounting, how do you measure? So in a balance sheet, you can see all tangible assets and its value and the depreciation value over a period of time. But how do you gauge, how do you rate the talent of an individual? Here comes the concept of HR accounting. But anyway, we do have again a new system emerged out of this, human resource information system. And also we have something called HR analytics in the days nowadays, which is very much promising. Finally, after doing all these things, the HR do also have an important technique or a department which works on how to retain the talented employee with him and how to make an employee comfortable. Now, separation is something which we talk about, not physically dividing somebody else, but making an employees understand their role, work in their limitations, and then making them work as a team. At times, even repatriation, expatriation, all falls into this category of what you call separation. For example, in software industries in India, we see that an employee was sent abroad, and after 2-3 years he works, he was called back because the client has moved to another business organization. Now, after coming here, he will not stay long and he'll immediately jump to the other organization. Now, then there needs a strategy to hold him back. So like that, we do a lot of such kind of things, and re-employment and re-employment. This is something which is new. Now in India in 2018, we have brought out a scheme. The government has brought out the scheme called fixed employment term, where in the previous cases and all, any country for that matter, the legislations are so clearly designed that helps only employees who are on roll or who are on a permanent job positions, who are enjoying a permanent job positions with a business entity or a corporate entity. But there are certain kind of businesses which have grown, which has emerged, where the demand or the employment will be cyclic in nature, based on the season, based on the demand, based on the product nature. Now, to protect them, what happens is the companies take them on contractual basis and deny the benefits what a full-time employee gets. And thereby companies has a chance of making money out of it, making more out of it, or exploiting the contractual workers, for which in India 2018, there was a legislation passed called fixed term employment. Even though an employee works on a temporary period on a contract basis, he is assured of all the benefits what a permanent employee gets. So all these legislations, etc., all will come under the concept of retention of contractual employees. And this again gives an input. It's a cycle. So therefore, my dear, no HR function, what I mentioned here, is independent and isolated. And all are independent. Any one change in one particular entity will reflect on the other concept or the other side of the entity. So having this input, I believe for an undergraduate student, I've given them the overall view of the HR and the different departments in HR, and what each department or what each section of HR will be discharging or will be doing, so that you develop an interest, become a master in it, and later on your development will be in a T-shape. That is, you choose one, become a master, and the other in the other areas also you are supposed to get the mastery or awareness. So then followed by, lastly, my slide, I would like to conclude revising what is the very purpose of our HR today. The very purpose of HR department, whatever they do, is to improve the productivity and the quality of output of the individual employees as well as the organization. And the other part of it is all about HR promises the individual's growth, where it believes that as an employee, you grow in all aspects. The company also grows proportionately with your growth. And then the other part of it is all about the the HR department ensures they respect the law of the land, and all they see that they comply with the legal and social obligations of that particular business or location in which they are operating. And lastly, they are the facilitators, where they try to see that their business organization is competitive in all its phases, so that they can take up any challenge and the business have a long-term sustainability. So my dear students, this is what the HR department nowadays is, or the very crux or the summary of their operations is focused around all these four. And I believe I've taken a good time here. So thank you all for listening to me, and a great thanks to our friend Guru Raj and the university for giving me an opportunity to share what I experienced about HR. Now it's a time for your questions, so that I can brief out what is the best thing what I can do. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you for Dr. Balaji Rao. Can
Yes,
we have
please.
an session for now? Yeah.
Yes.
For first question, we have Miss Rajas. Yeah, for Miss Rajas, maybe.
Miss Novita, I think Mr. Solikin is the first one.
Okay.
Yeah, so I will ask after him.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you. Yeah. For Mr. Solikin, maybe you can speak with Professor.
Yeah, please. I'm okay to receive the questions, Novita.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Any questions from the audience, please?
Yeah, we have to any audience, but maybe we can have Rajesh first, because Mr. Solikin not say anything. Yeah, for Miss Rajesh, maybe you can ask first.
Okay, somebody, if you have, you can type in the chat box.
Hello, good afternoon, Professor.
Good afternoon.
Let me introduce myself. My name is Rajeshwari. I'm a third semester student of STEKOM University, but my major actually not in international business. I'm an information system student. So,
Fantastic, Rajeshwari.
Yeah.
Your role is great in this, I believe.
Okay, yes. Thank you. I actually love coding instead, but yeah, I have some interest in business. So somehow I will learn about it a little bit.
Yes.
Okay.
Rajeshwari, it helps you a lot. As an information science professor, student, you can utilize the data what is available from the personnel department and come out with some tools to analyze and interpret, so that the HRs will make a good decisions.
Okay.
Yeah. So for you to design programming languages or to design some of the applications, this will be of much helpful, is what I believe so, Rajeshwari.
Okay, hope so. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, sir, I have some more question, but the first question is, as you said that organizations should take care of their employee in order to make that business succeed. But is it only applicable to employee who have higher education? Because as I know and as I saw in the fact that employee or labor which have a lower education, they always do protest, and they said that company didn't provide any well-being for their life, and etc. and so on. So do you think that because of that employee doesn't have any higher higher education background, and their knowledge is not much as employee who have a higher education background. So it means that company took advantage for their needs, because everyone needs money and that employee needs money. That is why they work for that company. So do you think that organization takes that employees need as their strength and opportunity? What is your opinion about this? Thank you.
Yes. Now I understand your question, Rajeshwari. Like, is the education qualification matters with respect to the exploitation of a companies from the employees, isn't it? So now let me tell you that if any employee feels that in the present context of the business world, qualifications doesn't matter. All matters is the skill, the attitude of an employee in delivering the best in the workplace. So now, if any employee feels they are not given the returns what it has to be, what they expect, they have to work out on improving their soft skills rather than hard skills. Hard skills are just only a gate pass entry into a job, but later it's all the soft skills that matters a lot. Okay, so therefore I don't believe in opinion that a true professional organization or a professional practice any company does will try to give weightage to the education qualification. But of course, it gives a weightage, but not to a weightage where it impacts the individual's rewarding system. So this is about my opinion. And any employee who feels he is not recognized or somewhere else he's not done, he is not received the justice what it has to happen, then he has to work out on his soft skills. He has to improve his communication, and also he has to demonstrate that he's contributing this much worth of productivity to the organization.
Then why is there so many employee do protest, especially in Labor Day, International Labor Day? If
So many,
yeah,
please.
yeah, why it happens if that company provides for their well-being and etc., and it's not because their hard skill, then why they do protest like that?
Yes, that's a good question. That's a good question. It clearly says that the HR department of that particular organization is not working well. If a HR works well in a department, if a HR department works very effectively, efficiently in an organization, no protest and no what you call a kind of disturbance or a strike happens with the labor. So this happens when the organizations are not transparent in what they are doing. So it starts from the top management. So when we see some faults at the top management where there is lack of transparency, obviously you find labor unrest and labor protest. And here comes the role of HR in bringing out that transparency and resolving the issues. That's what the negotiation, collaborative, collective bargaining all comes into place.
So, sir, why companies that such company? What is the major blocking? So that company, as an example, we can take Google as an example, sir. Why don't that company take Google as a role? Why don't they take that Google can provide certification for their employee? What is the major block for those particular company to implement that, sir? Then why? Oh God, don't they think about to maintain a sustainability? So because every organization, they build an organization, they create organization, it is for a long-term sustainability. That's sustainability, sir. That is my opinion. So why don't they provide satisfaction for their employee? That is
I do understand, but now let me tell you, you compared people, small and big, all organizations with Google. Every organization wants to be a Google-like company, right? Subject to condition, their ROI, return on investment, is as expected as Google is, right? Now, when it comes to a small and big organization, the return on their investment or the return to the stakeholders is minimum. And for them to reach to that stage, there is a lot of what you call a support and contribution at the lower level is much demanded from the stakeholders level. This is number one. There are a lot of instances where we see the business in which they operate, the political condition, the government and the legal obligations, and the other factors also matters a lot with respect to labor unrest in developing countries like India and in countries like Indonesia.
Yeah.
Right? Where not only the business, but there are other business external factors keep influencing it. Am I right?
Yeah.
So if at all a change at the societal level happens, obviously we do also grow and we don't see such kind of labor exploitation.
See, sir, sometimes even organization provides the satisfaction for the employee, but that employee could that employee never do their work effectively. So I think, sir, the major problem is that human psychology factors, sir. So that is my opinion. So whenever that employee get that satisfaction, they didn't work properly, or sometimes even though that employee worked properly, that company or organization didn't give them the satisfaction. So I think the major problem is actually that psychology problem, sir.
I do agree. And who has to rectify this? It's the HR. And you see companies like Infosys and all, you don't see a differentiation between the owner of a company and an employee of a company. Every employee feels he himself is an important stakeholder of that particular company. And the so-called outperforming companies, the very culture of the organization is so that every employee feels he is a part of that business and never he feels he's an employee. So to create that culture, HR matters a lot.
Okay. So, sir, I have, oh God, I asking so much, I think. Sir, sir, you said about hard skill and soft skill. As we said that one employee have a lot of hard skill, excellent hard skill, but in some order of their soft skill, perhaps they are for a teamwork, for a socialization, for a communication. There is a lot from that side. So is it will decrease the value of the employee, sir?
In sense that,
or HR will still hire that employee and will make some training or maybe will make some development for that employee? That is my question.
Yeah. So Rajeshwari, the important thing is that in India, like countries, though we have a good number of graduates, the statistics says that 5 to 6% of them are perfect for employability, right? Rest and all lacks the soft skills. Do you understand? So now institutions like us, we are focusing more on soft skills because our students are good enough in hard skills. So we are trying to tune them to get on to that soft skill so that they get placed. So very important as a HR, I give importance to the soft skills because I know once a candidate is recruited, if he's sound in hard skills, it's not a big task for me to what you call improve his hard skills. Therefore, it's always important an individual or a student possesses high order of soft skills than the hard skills in the present context, and it varies again from one job to the other job. Now, for a skill like IT and all, both are equally important. The hard skills are important, soft skills are important. There is no compromise in it. Okay. So if at all a student has to get recruited, he has to create that impression within a short period of time with in the interview, about 10 to 15 minutes. He has to impress and he has to express himself completely so that he'll be pulled in for further screening. Therefore, it's always let a student focus on soft skills. Once he is into the organization, let him also keep updating himself, his hard skills, so that he keeps moving the ladder of the career growth.
Sir, did you ever heard about human capital management? Is it same as HRM?
management is different, HRM is different.
No, human capital management. Human capital. What is it difference between HRM? I ever read about it, but I don't really know about what is it. What is it, sir?
Nothing. See, treating human resource as an asset and assessing that human resource in the form of a value or quantifying it is human capital. That's all. So when I'm discussing the definition, first comes human resource, then human resource management, and human capital. So do you see anywhere across in a balance sheet, this is human resource and that the assets path and giving a quantifying value to that? Absolutely not. But there are some countries, advanced countries, which are practicing that. And they talk that they use the term human capital. When it comes to human capital, it is a macro level, right? And when it talks about human resource management, it applies both at the micro and macro level. Okay.
So human capital is part of HRM.
Yes, it's a macro view of HR.
Okay. Okay, sir, I have one more. You said about focus of HRM activities is one of them is spiritual process. What is it, sir? Can you explain it brief? Can you explain and give me some example? Because I never heard about it. I just heard it now. What is it?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now, did you ever heard about stress?
Yeah. Everyone do face that. Everyone facing that.
Yes. And did you ever had a word called job stress, workplace stress?
Yeah, study stress also.
Yeah, obviously, study stress is there. And how do you cope with that stress? If you are highly stressed, can you perform good in your examination?
No.
Then what will you be doing?
I will mess up everything. Sometimes I will do meditation for that to balance.
That is nothing but what I am calling it as spirituality.
Okay.
Right? So it may be yoga, it may be meditation, or any kind of practice where it takes you to a level of higher order of achieving your goals, or what we call it as in Maslow's hierarchy, the saturated position is what we call it as spirituality. And spirituality will kill your ego. The moment you're out of your ego in a workplace, you're more transparent, you're more open to learning and also sharing knowledge, enabling you to push to the next level and always see wherever you are there, success follows. So that's in a very simple concept is what I told spirituality, but it has a lot of meaning inside it and a lot of companies do practice. One way of introducing this spirituality at a workplace is all to see that employees' moral are high, they are health wise, especially mentally, they are strong and they are balanced and they are ready to take any kind of challenges in their personal as well as in the professional life. So that's all. That's what spirituality is all about there.
Okay, sir, is there any example of organization or company which implement this, as you know, maybe? Just for my reference, because I never saw that in my area.
Yeah.
Maybe not yet. I don't know.
No. It is not so. They might be following, but not directly witnessed by us. Maybe in a different form, you might have been witnessing it. So you might have heard about the practice of work-life balance. You might have heard about what you call employee engagement in a different forms during the weekends and other parts.
Yeah. Work-life balance.
Let me tell you that work-life balance is all about balancing both personal life as well as the professional life, because nowadays it is highly stressful, and any workplace, knowingly or unknowingly, the way the locality or the region what we live or the surroundings in the surroundings of an individual is making his life more stressful. To balance that stress and to bring out that mental calmness and to pull them out of that illnesses to an individual that is caused due to the high order of stress, like neural stress, what you call forgetism, or a kind of what you call the other diseases related to the imbalance of mind. All is what
Alzheimer.
Alzheimer. So
Yeah.
that may come at a later age. But now, a lot of young employees are experiencing this kind of unrest, and this indirectly or directly affecting their personal life. More marriages, failed marriages, right? More of divorces we can witness. All these things is because of some kind of stress and unable to balance between work life and personal life. So this spiritual concept introduced by the HR departments, we have our Infosys practicing here. We do have employees who are a part of art of living, who practice these kind of things. When I see spirituality, it is not that spirituality what we talk about. It's all about the activities or a meditation or any activity by HR, encouraging employees to balance themselves, to have a peace of mind, calm state of mind. All come falls into this category, right?
Yep. I think
Yes.
it will take more time to all HR for our company to implement this.
No, not like that. Not like that. It will. It will
Especially in
be.
developing country. I don't know. Perhaps.
No, it do follows. Not a big challenge. When we realize the importance and outcomes of it, obviously all companies will start following it.
Okay. Okay. I think it is all my questions. Thank you for answering, sir. And send my regards to Mr. Guru Raj. Please. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you for answering.
Thank you, Rajeshwari and Novita. I believe any other questions?
Yeah, we have. I'm sorry. We have the last question in live YouTube from Angelia. First question: are soft skill obtained from recruitment or from training provided by the company? And then, what is the form of direct practice to train employed soft skill? Sorry. This
Okay.
is last. Yeah. Thank you.
So, Novita, one thing is that soft skills are something which an individual should groom himself, right?
Yeah.
It's something which is not taught in institutions or colleges. It is the surroundings that makes an individual demonstrate a kind of soft skills. Now, at the time of recruitment, if an employer feels the hard skills are quite good enough, then he'll invest on training the employee on soft skills. Therefore, recruitment takes care of both these things. So they select the people whom they believe have an attitude or an openness to learn and excel by tuning their soft skills. Obviously, they are the first to get placed. Yeah. And any other question?
I guess no one else is asking. I'm sorry. I guess no one else is asking. Can I continue the session for closing?
Yeah, yes, please. Thanks a lot, Novita and other team members there. And I have mentioned my email ID there. If any questions, please ask them to text a mail to me so that I can answer them. Thank you, Novita. And
Yeah,
thank you to all the participants there.
thank you for doctor. Maybe we can meet again in the next event. Thank you for coming in this event. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for doctor. Thank you.
So can I exit, madam?
Yeah, you can. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ya, thank you. Untuk acara selanjutnya nanti dilanjutkan jam 1:30 dari Universitas Cina ya. Oke, terima kasih semua.
下一个发言。
好。只是我们这个版本太低了，我再先登一下算了。
我这个估计可以坚持了2个小时。
可以，好。这吧。
Good afternoon, everyone. You can hear me. You can. Good morning.
Yes, I can hear you. A moment, please. I'd like to
Okay,
open our PPT. 待会你直接讲就可以了。我在旁边，我给你换一个位置。
看得到 PPT，
他可以看到你，可以看到你。Good afternoon, and I would like to introduce the lecturer this afternoon. His name is Meibin from our Fuzhou Polytechnic. So I will be the interpreter this afternoon. Okay, thank you.
我开始了。
等他一下。You hear me, Navita?
Yeah, I can hear your voice.
You hear me? It seems not very smooth. You hear me, Navita? Can you hear me?
Yeah, hear your voice.
Okay, you can hear my advice. 截图一下，哎，截图。Okay, moment please. 算了，直接等一下再截图吧。Okay, so we'll start. Okay.
播放。
Yeah, maybe you.
直接播放就可
直接
以了。
播放哈。
You can see the PPT, right? Can you see the PPT? 直接点播放啊，对。Can you see the PPT? Novita, can you see?
Yes, I can.
You can read the PPT, right?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so we'll start.
Yes, I can.
好，那个我主要就是讲解一下我们新能源汽车的一些简单的介绍，以及目前来说新能源汽车的一些开发流程。
Okay, this afternoon we would like to introduce the profile of new energy vehicle and its development process.
好，我将分2个章节来主要的介绍。那个第一章节就是新能源汽车的一个介绍，然后第2个章节就是新能源汽车的开发流程。
We will introduce from 2 parts. The first one is introduction to new energy vehicles. The second part is new energy vehicle development process.
首先就是新能源汽车的相关的一个介绍。
First of all, we would like to introduce the concept.
那什么是新能源汽车？新能源汽车简单的来说，就是采用非传统燃油车作为动力源的汽车。
In simple terms, it is a car that uses non-traditional fuel as its power source.
同样的，新能源车的定义也可以是就是采用新型的动力，完全或主要依靠新型能源驱动的汽车。
So it can easily refer to vehicles that adopt new power system and are driven entirely or mainly by new energy source.
然后根据这些目前的我们的一个新能源行业的一个现状，我们可以把新能源车分为以下这几类。
So it mainly include
首先就是目前国际上，包括我们中国上都追逐的一个趋势，就是纯电动的一个汽车。
First one is pure electric vehicle.
纯电动汽车它有一个非常好的一个优点，就是它的结构以及它的技术要求门槛比较低。
And the feature and advantage of pure electric vehicle is it's very easy to get.
它还有另外一个特点，它就是避开了发动机，完全采用可供的一个电池来提供动力源。
Another advantage of the pure electric vehicle is it completely use battery and but not engine.
但是它也有相对的一个很大的一个劣势，就是我们的一个充电设施不够完善。
But it also has got some shortcomings, like the lack of charging facilities.
那当然续航里程，顾客还是普遍希望能够提高它的续航里程。
And the second about the cruising range, it's not so high.
第二类就是我们的混合动力汽车。
The second type is hybrid car.
混合动力汽车，它就是将我们的传统的发动机和电动机相结合的一类车型。
And it's a kind of blended power equipped with two power sources. One is traditional gasoline, another one is battery.
它相比传统车，它有一个很大的一个优势，就是它能够降低排放以及省油。
The most obvious advantage of this hybrid car is it can reduce emission and increase power and reduce noise.
那它的一个比较大的一个劣势，就是因为它是在传统汽车的基础上增加的电动机，所以说它的结构会相对复杂。
Its shortcoming is its complicated system structure and fuel saving effect of long distance high speed driving is not obvious.
好，那我们来看看其他的几类车型呢，主要是来谈一谈，混合动力汽车的，它其实跟这个插电式混合动力汽车相比的话，它只是多了一个可以插电的一个充电口。
Compared to just a hybrid car, the plug-in hybrid electric vehicle has a plug-in.
它的一个缺点就是现在在很多国家，混合动力汽车，我们只要有这种发动机的，我们都统一划入为燃油汽车，而非新能源汽车。
But it has a shortcoming that in some countries, as long as the car has some plug-in engine, so it is listed as the engine car, but not new energy car.
然后是这个就是增程式的电动汽车，它只是在纯电动车的基础上，我们增加它的一个续航里程。
Next, about the extended range electric vehicle, its feature is that it adds some range extender to the pure electric vehicle.
那最后一款就是我们的燃料电动汽车，它是以氢气、甲醇等作为燃料，然后作为动力的一个汽车。
Next type is the fuel electric vehicle, and it uses hydrogen, methanol, etc. as fuel.
那这款车可以从真正意义上是实现的是近似于零排放或者是零排放。
And the advantage of this type is it's less pollution, zero or near zero emission.
但是由于氢气的产量和储存难度大，普及速度比较慢。
But due to the production and storage of hydrogen are difficult, so the product is not very easy.
好，我们讲一下这个纯电动车的它的一个基本的结构。
Now we would like to introduce the pure electric car, the structure of it.
它只是把我们的油箱变成了充电口。
It turned the fuel tanker into electric motor.
和把我们的发动机变成了电池。
And turned the motor into battery.
纯电动车它把变速箱，传统车的变速箱就变成了仅仅的一级的减速机构。
And the pure electric car turned the transmission into decelerator.
因此纯电动汽车相比传统车，它的结构是非常简单的。
So compared to the traditional fuel car, the structure of pure electric car is very simple.
然后混动汽车在它的一个结构，我这边给大家介绍一下。首先是这个串联式混合动力汽车。
Then I would like to introduce the hybrid car. First of all, I would like to introduce the series hybrid.
首先图上可以知道的话，就是它的串联式主要表现在它的动力，发动机到发电机再到电机是一条路。
Why we call it series hybrid, you can see that it's a kind of extended line you see from the HV battery, electronic motor, and generator is in a same line.
从这里可以知道，由于它是发动机带动发电机给电池充电或者给电机使用，因此它的能源效率其实利用率是相对来说比较低的。
So you can see from the map that the generator supports the electric motor to the battery, so it's a low effect car.
这个它
再往下，不会再往下吗？
可以。然后是第二款是并联式的混合动力汽车。
And the next one is parallel hybrid.
它是有2道动力的驱动系统，一种是传统的，一种是电动驱动的一个系统。
The second type, and it includes 2 drive systems. One is traditional internal combustion engine system, and next is the electric motor drive system.
因此它比串联式混合动力汽车来说，它的一个能源的效率利用率是更高的。
So it's higher effect than just series hybrid.
然后最后一个就是我们丰田常用的一个系统。混合动力式混联式的混合动力系统。
And the third one I would like to introduce is a series hybrid.
它避开了并联式混合动力系统没有发电机的它的这个缺点。
And it make up the just now the second type that it has no engine. It has a motor engine.
这个混合式的混联式混合式动力系统也是丰田的它的技术的一个标志。
It's the main technology used by Toyota.
然后这边根据它混合度不同的分类，可以分为以下4类。第一类是微混合动力系统，第2类是轻混合动力系统，第3类是中混合动力系统，以及第4类完全混合系统。
So according to the different classification of blending, we divide the hybrid car into 4 types. First one is the micro hybrid system. Second is the light hybrid power system. Third one is hybrid system. And fourth one is complete hybrid system.
它的混合度的定义主要是电驱动的功率除以它发出的总的功率的一个比值。
How we divide them into these four types is mainly according to the dynamic of the engine.
好，现在是看一下，就是现在国际上比较常见的几款的一个电动汽车。
Now I would like to show you some representative vehicles, electric vehicles. First one is
First 呢就是特斯拉它的纯电动汽车。
First one is Tesla pure electric vehicle.
然后第二类就是我们的日产的凌风。
And second type is from Japan. It's a Leaf pure electric vehicle.
看它这种就是日本产的它的这种纯电动车，它还是遵循了他们国家 kit car 的一种趋势。
It obeyed to the Japanese kit car, mini car, right? Mini car trend.
然后第三个就是我们欧洲大众的高尔夫和宝马的 i3。
The third type is from Europe, Volkswagen e-Golf, and next one is BMW i3.
还有就是我们现在国家比较强势的企业，比亚迪的 E6 以及北汽的 EV200。
And the next is from our country. One is BYD E6 and BAIC EV200.
好，然后这个是氢燃料的一个电池汽车。然后它主要还是以丰田 Mirai 这个车为主。
And next, I would like to introduce the types of hydrogen fuel cell vehicles. It is mainly mainstream model in Toyota. It's Mirai.
在其他就是氢燃料汽车应用推广还是很少。
Currently, there are not very many this kind of fuel electric vehicles.
好，这边就提一个，就是为什么新能源汽车被认为是中国能够实现弯道超车的一个产业。
Okay, here I would like to put forward a question. Why is new energy vehicle industry in China considered to be the most capable of overtaking in a curve?
首先，第一点就是历史原因。中国传统车的技术相比国外落后有100年以上。
First reason is from historical reason. The automobile industry is a $1 trillion industry. There is a big gap between the traditional fuel vehicle in my country and foreign countries.
但是就是随着新能源产业的发展，由于纯电动汽车的技术门槛相对较低，中国政策方面也是十分支持。
So with the rapid development of the new energy, the government hopes to train the traditional automobile industry. So it also promotes some strategy to put forward it.
第二个就是我们全世界都面临的一个石油资源紧缺的一个问题。
And the second one is scarce in oil resource.
第三点，也就是我们的一个环境的污染问题。
The third one is environmental pollution.
最后一个就是国家的一个政策推动。
The fourth one is the policy promotion.
对，还是点，我滚轮不太行。点。好，那这个是主要是。
Okay.
好，这个汽车行业在中国也是一个经济的一个支柱产业。
An automobile industry stated in our country that it's a support for manufacturing industry.
首先是汽车工业，代表了工业发展水平，是劳动密集型产业。
First of all, an automotive industry representative industrial development level. It's a capital intensive, technology intensive, and labor intensive modern industry.
包括现在的互联网企业也与传统车形成强合作。
It also have collaboration with the network.
第二个就是汽车产业在经济和社会发展中占有举足轻重的地位，主要就是它的一个占工业增加值的7%左右。
And the second one is automobile industry plays an important role in economic and social development. And the added value of automobile manufacturing industry accounts for about 7% of the added value of the whole industry.
第三点就是汽车产业向好的人民幸福水平的一个象征。现在每家每户基本上都拥有一部家用轿车。
The third one is the good development of the automobile industry is a symbol of the improvement of people's happy living standard. Currently, with the continuous development of China's automobile industry, the popularity of automobile has entered thousands of households. Almost every family has a vehicle.
同样的，汽车产业也关系到国防安全。
And the fourth, the automobile industry continues to ask for national defense and security.
这个图是从是中国新能源汽车销量从2014年到2020年的产销图。
And next, this is a chart about the new energy vehicle sales from 2014 to 2020.
这边有一个点，就是在2016年到2016年左右，我们的续航里程可能只有200公里左右。
Here, I would like to point out that in 2016, the range of new energy still only 200 kilometers.
然后到达现在2020年，我们的续航里程可以达到了500多甚至600。
Till now, 2020, the range of the new energy can reach 500, even 600 kilometers.
现在我主要介绍一下，就是新能源汽车的开发流程。
And next, I would like to introduce the development process of new energy.
首先，整车的一个开发的一个目标，主要遵循 QCT 原则。
First of all, the target for whole vehicle development is QCT, which is quickly, cost, and time.
但是要注意一下，这个 QCT 原则中，一切都是以 Q 为前提的。
But we have to pay attention that among the QCT principle, Q is the most important one.
那在整车开发的原则主要有以下几步。第一个要提前规划。
Okay, for the principle for the whole vehicle development, it is as followed. First one is plan priorly.
第二个就是我们要实现最大程度的实现同一平台的多样化。
The second one is to maximize the diversity in the same platform.
这个主要指的是在设计过程中或者在生产过程中，同一个平台要为后几代的车型考虑。
And its meaning is that among the design or manufacturing process, we have to pay much attention to consider for the future generation.
主要第三个就是我们要整体设计优先，局部的一个设计要其次。
Next one is prior to overall design and portion design next.
然后第四点就是 对于共享平台的汽车零部件，能不改动的就尽量不改动。
The fourth one is we share parts of the same platform, not to change as possible.
这主要也是因为我们汽车零部件涉及的比较多。
And its reason is in new energy vehicle, it will refer to too many parts, component of the car. So we would not like to change it as possible.
然后第五点就是我们的一个风险和以及可行性的预估。
And the fifth one is to predict the risk and feasibility.
那这边现在先提一下，就是我们整车开发，如果是全新的一个车系的开发，现在一般只需要2年。
Now I would like to mention that as for the whole vehicle development, if it is new vehicle, we only cost maybe 2 years to finish the development.
如果是小改型的话，大概只需要1年。
If it is only a change from the old model, maybe only cost us 1 year to finish.
这个就是我们新能源汽车的一个成本的一个构成。
Next, the pie chart, it shows us the cost composition of new energy vehicles.
首先，我们可以知道，就是纯电动汽车，它有大概1半的成本跟我们传统车是一样的。
First of all, I would like to mention that the cost, almost half of it is same as traditional vehicles.
它的主要成本主要是在电池及控制器。
Its main cost is from its controller and battery.
同样，它的电机控制器也是占据很大的一部分的成本。
And its drive motor also occupies some of the cost.
因此，在新能源汽车开发过程中，电池和电机的技术尤为关键。
So among the development process of the new energy vehicle, the drive motor and the battery is very important.
好，这个是一个就是我们的一个成本图、成本宽图。
This is a map about the cost.
然后上面的一个是实际的一个成本的摊销。
Above the map shows us the actual cost amortization.
而下部分是产品的那个成本。
Below it shows us the product cost control.
我们可以知道，在实际成本摊销中，制造活动占据了85%。
So from the upper map, we can see that the manufacturing takes up the most of the amortization.
但是它的产品概念那个活动只占据了5%。
But the concept of the product only takes up 5%.
但是这个5%其实决定了它实际产品成本的60%。
But only the 5% of the cost, it determines 60% of the cost control.
在制造活动中，它往往仅决定了成本的5%。
But among the manufacturing process, it only takes up 5% of the cost.
因此，在我们整车开发中，我们一般是在前期中投入的更多。
So among the whole development process, we would like to minimize the design change in the project.
这个是一个美国和日本汽车公司的产品开发的一个比较。
On the right side, we make a comparison of the product development between US and Japan.
我们可以发现，在我们的前期的工作中，不管是日本还是美国，他们都是占据了大量的工作比例。
So we can easily from this table, we find that no matter Japan or the US, the prior work takes up most of the development process.
但是日本可能在概念阶段的工作量会是比较大的。
But Japan may spend more time in the concept development.
然后这边重点提一下，就是在产品概念和设计阶段，对新产品做任何改变所花费的成本，要比在生产阶段相应的改变的花费小得很多。
So here I would like to mention that the cost of making any change to new products in the product concept and design phase is much smaller than the cost of making the corresponding change in the production stage.
同样的，在概念阶段，更加关注产品的质量、制造、测试和装配等问题，将能减少产品开发成本和加速的开发。
So in the product concept phase, you will be able to reduce product development costs and accelerate the development process.
好，这个开发流程它就是一个规律性的总结的一个东西，然后把它上升为可以操作、可以指导开发工作的管理程序，并应用在新的开发工作中，不断实践，为客户创造有价值的产品。
Next, the development process. What is development process? It is actually some regular things occur during development process. So we summarize them and rise to operatively can guide the management procedure for development work and apply in new development work. And through continuous practice, constantly innovation, continuous improvement, create valuable products for customers.
然后就是开发流程，它就是强调团队的作用，要求制定详细的计划，充分调动企业各种资源，采用分工协作，执行一个相同的一个工作标准，以达到信息共享的方式开发产品。
So the development process emphasizes the role of teams, requiring a detailed plan to fully mobilize the various resources of enterprise, using division of labor, implement a common work standard to develop products to achieve information sharing.
通过开发流程的一个运用，主要就是为了降低成本、缩短开发周期、提高开发质量、控制开发风险，以及加速开发的一个成功的一个几率。
So through the application of development processes, it can effectively reduce costs, shorten the development cycle, improve development quality, control development risks, and increase the development of success.
那这里提一下，就是我们的一些合资车的一个品牌，它就将国外的一个开发的流程应用到本土的一个品牌中。
So we would like to mention in some of the joint venture companies, they brought in some of the foreign technology.
这个开发流程它是非常重要的，主要体现在以下几个方面。
And the development process, we pay much attention to the following process.
就是公司设立的主要部门的业务都是围绕开发流程设立的，是服务于开发的。
First one is company's main departments are set up around the development process, serving the development.
同样的，在开发中出现大的一个问题，首先是检查开发流程是否在实行，流程是否出了问题。
If there is a big problem in development, first to track if the process is executed as processed, and if there is any problem with the process.
同样的，在开发的流程重大节点中，我们公司会对这些节点进行指导和监控。
So there is a company level committee to guide and monitor product development according to the major nodes set by the development process.
同样的，在对这些，我们也会有专门的部门对这些执行情况进行跟踪。那通过不断的优化来缩短开发周期，提高它的研发效率。
There is a special process department to track the execution of the process, continuously optimize, then to improve the effect.
那现在我来讲一下这个它的主要的几个阶段。第一个就是商品概念阶段，然后第二个就是概念设计阶段，第三个数字设计阶段，第四个样车实验阶段，问题对策阶段以及批量生产阶段，最终达到量产阶段。
Okay, so in or how many process, how many periods is included in the development process? Actually, there are 7. First one is commodity concept period. Second one is concept design period. The third one is digital design period. And fourth one is sample car experimental period. The fifth one is problem solving period. And sixth one is mass generation period. And last, it comes to mass production.
这边需要注意的是，这些阶段并不是一个阶段结束，然后下一个阶段开始，它是有一些是并行的一个阶段。
So we would like to mention that among these periods, there is no gap among them, and they have to go with each other.
好，首先是商品概念阶段中的一些主要的一个过程。首先是市场调研，然后是车型定位以及产品的一个提议。
So in the first commodity concept period, there are 3 main parts. First one is market investigation. Second one is model positioning. Third one is product proposal.
这一类工作的话，其实是非常重要的。
The first stage is very important.
特别是对于我们的一个战略的一个决策是具有指引性的作用。
It is determine our strategy, development strategy.
然后就是对于这个市场调研来说，我们的一个乘用车市场就主要分为3类，第一类是轿车，第二类是 SUV 市场，以及第3类 MPV 的一个市场。
So according to the investigation, we find out that currently there are 3 main passenger car in China. First one is family car, second one is SUV, and third one is MPV.
在轿车领域中，那个国外合资的品牌是占据的一个主导的一个地位。
As for the family car, the joint venture takes up the most portion.
然后在 SUV 的话，目前来说，国产的品牌占据主要的一个地位。
As for SUV, the inside country product takes up the most portion.
然后在 MVP 的领域，高端的话是国外的品牌占据主导地位，然后低端的话还是国内的品牌占据主导地位。
As for the MPV cars, if it is high level brands, maybe it mainly from the foreign country, but as for the common level, it is mainly from inside country.
车型定位的话，就是主要是要有一个对竞争车型的一个比较，竞争车型的比较。
As for the modelly positioning, we mainly have to have a competitive model with some same level cars.
这边就是要定位好你的开发的这个车子的一个级别以及它的定位。
First one is to grade our development car model.
在国内的话，主要分为 A 级、B 级和 C 级。
In our country, it mainly divide into A grade, B grade, and C grade.
同样的，你对于这种竞争车型，你需要比较它的外观、性能、价格以及尺寸。
And the second one, you have to compare with their advantage and disadvantage from the shape, from the function, from the price, and from the size.
同样的，就是我们整车的配置也是需要考虑，包括它的动力总成、它的电子的一个配置以及款式的类别。
And last, we have to compare with their configure. First one is power assembly, second one electric configure, and model and category.
好，经过前期的内容，我们可以将产品系列的配置以及定价确定。
So after just now's positioning, now we can determine the price of the configuration.
可以制定好这个我们那个项目战略的一个目标。
We can make the goal to achieve about the project strategy.
同样的，我们的开发周期、生命周期也能够完成。
And then we can finish our product life cycle plan.
后期就是这个概念阶段的，还有包含这个产品工艺的可行性的一个分析报告。
Then we can discuss about the feasibility of the products and crafts.
以及就是未来趋势以及风险的一个评估报告。
Last, to make an assessment report about future trend and risk.
最后这两个将决定我们这个项目是否开展。
The last two reports will determine whether we will carry out the product or not.
好，这里就是举一个市场定位的一个例子。就是对于这个顾客人群，像比方说像这上面的这台车叫 March， 它是之前是定位的是就是老人家买菜，在中国定位是老人家买菜，但是可能前期调研做得不够，因此导致销量比较低。
Now I'd like to give you some examples about the market positioning. For the first picture, actually its name is March. When we developed this car, we designed to sell to those old people to buy foods from supermarket. But maybe the prior market investigation is not as good. So not so good. So the sale of this March is not very good.
然后第二类就是我们说 X-Trail 奇骏，它是之前的外形不符合大家的审美，但是它通过改型以后，就是在中国就是 popular。
The second example is the red car. You can see the red SUV, and actually its original shape is not very it's not accepted to people, so its sale is not very good. But after they change the shape, currently it sells very good.
最后一款就是我们的奔驰 Smart。
And the last one you can see is Benz Smart.
奔驰 Smart 它有那个两座和四座，那因为两座的话，它的轻巧反而在中国更受欢迎。
You can see that originally Benz Smart has got 4 seats in the past, but according to the investigation in Chinese market, people like 2 seats better.
概念设计阶段就是第一个就是总体的布置，包括这以下这几个布置。
And now we come to the concept design period. It includes the overall assignment, appearance design, and sheet model.
然后第二个就是我们的一个造型的设计，那包含以下4个草图以及效果图。
And about the appearance design, it includes 4 parts you can find from the chart.
然后就是对于不同国家，大家对这外形的审美都会有所不同。
As in different countries, people have different feeling about their shapes.
比方说在中国的话更喜欢的是一些外观流线型好的，然后空间比较大的。
In China, people like cars with smooth shape and a big inside.
然后在美国的话，反而是那种比较大型的这种皮卡车反而更受欢迎。
But in the US, the pickup is more welcome.
然后第3个就是我们的要进行一个油泥模型的一个制作。那当然，这个油泥模型主要是针对的是全新车型的一个 过程，就是需要有这个游离模型的一个制作过程，全新车系。
If we develop a completely new model, we have to use the third step. It's she's model.
好，然后这个是它的概念设计的一个阶段，它主要是通过先草图到效果图，然后再游离模型，然后最终再到数字设计以及组模型。
Among the design stage, we have to draw the drawings, then make she's model, then make digital design, then comes to the frozen model.
需要注意的是，就是我们的一些外饰冻结、内饰冻结以及主模型冻结这些节点到达之后，我们就不能进行任何的改动。
So if we comes to the shape frozen stage or inside decoration frozen stage, then we cannot make any change.
其实概念设计阶段也是我们之前一个阶段，它输出的一个就是给我们的一些提示，包含着就是我们的一个购买人群，包括一些就是我们的一些造型的元素要怎么去确定。
Actually, the concept design stage is a refresh of the customer, of the target customer's feel.
数字设计阶段的话，它就是通过计算机的一个仿真的技术，将我们车辆的包括设计，包括它的实验，都通过计算机来仿真。
And next we come to the digital design stage. Actually, it's a virtual stage that we use computer to make those design.
大家可以看这个图包括我们的一个整车，包括我们的动力系统，包括我们工厂生产这个车的过程，我们都会进行一个模拟。
You can see from the map that it includes all the stages that we can make from with the computer.
数字设计阶段可以最大程度的降低成本。
It's a very important stage that we can control the cost.
然后它的第一步是我们会将我们的竞争车作为标杆车来分析它的一个计算机，用计算机来分析它的一些性能。
First of all, we will make a CAE analysis with the retrieved car.
包含了就是4款底盘、车身、空调。
It contains 4 parts.
还有性能。
Chassis, body, air conditioner, and performance.
这个注意一下，就是我们对于这个标杆车来说，它的一个逆向的一个数据质量是影响分析结果的关键要素之一。
The reverse data quality is one of the key elements that affect the results of the analysis.
这里要谈一下，就是逆向、正向和逆向。我们现在讲的这个流程，是属于我们这个开发流程是属于正向的。那逆向的开发流程是从后往前推它的一个过程。
Here, what is the reverse data? Actually, people may be designed from a positive direction, step by step. But here, reverse data, it means we will make comparison with our retrieved cars, then use those data to make change to our model.
然后对于 CAE 分析来说，材料的一个选择是否正确等等，以及它的一些条件的设置，都会是影响到分析的一个结果。
In this stage, the data input for analysis is also the key element of impacts.
然后基于以上的我们的一个 CAE 分析，公司都会将这些数据建立入库，然后为了方便后续的开发。
Then we will establish CAE database for future development.
这边再提一下，就是我们后期如果出现的一个问题，首先会去查一下数字设计阶段它的一个分析的一个结果。
So, and in the future process, if there appears any problem, so we will go back to the database to find if there is any mistake in this process.
然后数字分析阶段，它一般是这样子来做的，它会先设立一个目标线，目标值就是我们的一个需要达到的一个性能的一个曲线。
In this digital design stage, maybe we will set a target digit.
就是针对于这个，我们在这个数字阶段过程，就需要把我们仿真的这些性能能够达到这个目标。
Then we will make lots of experiments to reach this target digit.
那其实就是计算机模拟实验，它的应用它就有两大的一个优势。首先，它比实物更加的方便和有效。
So it is about the computer virtual experiment. It's more low cost and more effective.
那同样的，由于我们在设计初期的介入，如果能够提高数字阶段的一个设计的一个精准度，那可以减少后期模具的几率，然后大大降低它的一个成本。
So you can intervene at the initial stage of the design and improve the accuracy of the design and reduce the chances of changing in the mode in a later period. Then the costs can be greatly reduced.
这个就是举的一个例子，就是我们的一个动力学舒适性的一个分解图，就是目标设定值的它的一个分解图。
And this is a map that I would like to show you about the target value setting. And it's about the comfortable performance, the composition map of the dynamic.
它将它的一个就是首先是这个动态的一个舒适的一个性能进行分解成我们的一个噪声舒适度以及振动舒适度。
It decomposites the parts of the value into some like the noise parts, the something like that.
然后这些分解以后，我需要对于每一小块这个性能做一个目标的一个设定。
Then I'll set target value for each part.
那比方说像右边的这张图。
On the right side, it's a accelerate noise part.
这个蓝色的线就是我们的一个目标值。
The blue line stands for our target value.
对于这个竞争车来说，它是绿色的线，它是满足的这个目标值的。
And about the green curve, it stands for the competitive vehicles.
但这红色的就是我们在这个数字阶段要做的事情，就是将红色的这条线的突出的部分降低到这个蓝色线以下。
About the red curve, it may stand for our experiment digit. So what we have to do is to cut the higher part to below the blue line.
那这个就是只是举了一个简单的一个例子，就是对分解了以后，它的每一块的一个对声源分解以后，然后它的每一块它的一个，比方说它的一些参数要怎么去定的，对。
Next, it's a map that I show you that after we decomposite the digit, then how we set each of the part, how we set the value of each part.
然后来到这个样车实验阶段，那样车实验阶段它主要是可以分为第一个是骡子车实验，还有 ET 车试制实验以及 PT 车的一个试制实验。
Now we come to the car experimental stage. It concludes three parts. First one is Scorpion trial system. Next one is ET trial system. And the last one is PT trial system.
这边注意一下，就是骡子车这个4字，它的一个制造过程其实涉及到的成本会比较高，因为它是模具都要新的。
这就不用说了。
好，就是那这边 ET 的这个实验阶段 ，ET1 它主要是包含了这2个实验，一个是基本参数以及设计的一个评价。
So there are ET1 stage, ET2 stage, PT1 stage, and PT2 stage. As for the ET1 stage, it concludes 2 parts. First one is basic parameter measurement. Second one is design evaluation.
那 ET2 的一个阶段，它就是涉及到基本参数、性能实验啊，还有包括一些我们的道路实验、空调实验、NVH 实验等等。
And about the ET2 stage, it concludes the basic parameter measurement like the AC experiment, roll experiment, NVH experiment, electrical experiment, and driving experiment.
然后来到这个 PT 阶段 ，PT 它 P 其实就是那个小批量 production 的意思。
Okay, now we go to the PT1 stage. Here, PT actually abbreviation of small product.
然后 PT1 就是综合考虑了我们汽车的一个动力性、经济性以及排放耐久 NVH， 包括碰撞这些等等性能。
It mainly tests about the motor value economy, overall parts reliability verification, and emission, something like that.
那 PT2 阶段就是综合了一个整车的一个综合评价、用户评价以及持续改进的一些实验。
And the last is PT2 stage. It's about the integrated assessment, overall customer assessment, and improving test.
就是这边提一个，如果在 PT 阶段出了一点问题的话，它其实整车是很难有大的改动，就是只能做一些小改的一个对策。对。
Here, I would like to mention that among the PT1 stage, if there happens any problem, but we cannot make too much change to the car because we have already set it down.
好，这个就是来到了一个样车的一个实验阶段。这个视频要不要给它播一下？
可以呀。And now we call 你呢？
我这边
过去，你有吗？
这台电脑里面，我之前发了一个包。
有那个包。
包里面有的话就点开就行。
Okay. And next we come to the collision test. And so please wait a moment. We would like to show you some videos.
就是我之前压缩包的。
推出来，微信推出来一下，看一下微信。好了，我应该不是发给你，我发的。
哦，这里。
对，现在。
简短的看一下，对。桌面吗？我们这个大概持续多久？1个多小时吧。我已经讲很快，
可以这样，
就这样子啊，对。
然后面他还会提一堆问题，
他们会提很多问题，是吧？碰撞我就给他举一点吧。
那我分享，你先打开，先打开，先打开，
打开，
对，先打开。Okay, now I would like to show you some video about the collision.
去讲解，你觉得新能源汽车好还是那个车好呢？还是比较简单的。
就不提了，我就大概简单的说一下。对啊，其实这个东西有些东西很多东西是说。
对你讲太复杂，他们听不懂。
这个联防疫呢，就是主要是看这个驾驶室的变形情况。
可以。
就是他们碰撞实验评价，就是看这个驾驶室的变形情况以及人受到的伤害的这个情况来评价。
Okay, we'll close the video and go back to the
确
PPT.
定。
May I know, is it enough?
Yeah, we'll go back to share the PPT.
Yeah. Oh, it is not enough, right?
You can see the PPT now, right?
Yeah, I can see your PPT.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, you can continue.
那就是碰撞评价标准，目前有可以分为，在欧洲的是 ENCAP， 在美国的话是 IIHS， 在中国是 CNCAP。
About the collision standard, about the collision assessment standard, currently there are four types. One is ENCAP, ENCAP in the US, and IIHS, sorry, ENCAP in the Europe, and IIHS in the America, and CNCAP in China, and CIASI in China. There are these four types of assessment standard.
那个就是 IIHS 的评分是最为严格的。
And among them, the IIHS is the most rigid one.
然后第二个是耐久性实验。 就是对于这个车辆的一个整车的一个耐久，那一般来说，这个实验可以到一些极寒的天气，或者是极端险恶的路面去行驶，去测试。
And the next one is durability test. If we want to do this kind of test, we will take the car to the extreme weather, some like most cold or most coldest or hottest place.
那同样的，就是我们的一些包括车门，它的开关也会有做一些耐久性的一个实验。
And as for the door of the car, the durability, will open it to see how many times we can use it.
视频就不对了。然后这个第三个就是我们的音振实验，也是 NVH 实验。
And the next is about the vibration experiment.
它可以包含一些就是路噪、加速噪音、车外噪音、异音等相关的一个实验。
It includes the road noise, accelerated noise, outside car noise, abnormal sound, etc.
那一般像这个就是我们的一个就是车内噪音实验的这个实验室。
And we point to the right side, the picture, it's a kind of noise lab. We make the noise in that lab.
那像这个就是相当于是我们的麦克风去收集噪音的它的一个仪器。
And next, it's a kind of microphone, like a kind of microphone that will collect noise.
这个就是我们的一个振动的一个传感器。
It's a transmission of the vibration.
那这些就是我们的一个测量的一个就是仪器。
And then on the right, it's the test equipments for the vibration experiment.
OK。然后这个还有一个就是我们要做一些超程实验，包含就是以下的这几个超程性能。
Next, we'll do some operation driving braking experiment.
这个仪器那就在下一步。
Okay, these are the experiment equipments.
然后包含就是我们一些电子装置的实验。对于新能源车的话，主要有电机，还有电池，还有这些相关性能，以及它的一些电子管理系统 BMS 的一些实验。对。
And the next about the electronic device experiment, we mainly do the battery performance experiment, control system joint debugging experiment, and motor performance experiment.
那特别注意啊，对于新能源车，它对这个就是我们的一个高压安全的一个实验非常注重。
And among the new energy vehicle experiment, we have to pay great attention to the high voltage.
然后就是对于这个其他的性能实验，包括这个动力型、经济型、排放型实验。
And then we will also make some experiment about the power, economical, and emission experiment.
就是提一下，就是我们对于企业来说，这些性能往往就是就是因为它要去竞争，所以说它这些性能都会定的目标会比较高。
As for those manufacturing factories, these experiments are very important because so long as they have a very good value digit, then they can compete with some retrieved models.
这个问题对策阶段，到问题对策阶段，就是我们在 PT 阶段中发现的问题，比方说像这个蓝色的线，它这边超出了它的红色的目标线。
And then we come to the problem solving and refreshing stage. You can see the picture that some of the blue lines that beyond the red line, so we have to find out the problem.
然后我们就要对原因进行分析，
Then make analysis and find out the strategy.
然后让这个蓝色的目标线、蓝色的曲线低于这个目标，就不要超出这个值。对。
Then the blue curve goes below the red line.
好，然后这个就是问题对策阶段，就是它就是要不断的对策，不断的验证，因为它这个不是说一次就能完成，都要有一个阶段。
Among this solving and refreshing stage, It's not a one-time experiment. We have to make on and on solving and make on and on verification.
然后在这个对策阶段以后，就是你想到了一些对策，我们呢就是对于问题的想到对策，然后这个并不是这要实验部门以及设计科室等等科室就坐下来去讨论，最终确定这个方案可行。对。
Among this period, all the testing departments and design departments have to sit together to find and discuss about the strategy.
这边就提一下，就是对于这种对策，对设计科室主要考虑的就是成本问题。
And among this discussion stage, the design department mainly considered about their cost.
如果超出了我们的一个成本，那我们可能设计科室就会不采取这个措施。
If the solvent will exceed the price or the cost of the new vehicle, maybe the design department will refuse to accept the solvent.
然后就到了这个批量生产阶段，它就是跟我们传统车的一样，也是4大工艺，就是冲压、焊装、涂装和总装。只是在总装的时候，就是动力总成的不一样，它是新能源车就是装电池那些，那传统车就是发动机这些。对。
Now it comes to the mass production stage. It's the same as the traditional fuel car, and it includes punching, welding, coating, and assembling. But the only difference from the fuel car is the last phase about the assembling. For the new energy car, it will assemble the battery into the car. But for the fuel car, it will assemble the fuel tanker engine into the car.
然后在这个工厂它生产出这个汽车了以后，它要交给我们的一个技术部门去确认它的一个车辆的品质。
Okay, so after the assembling, the factory will deliver the products, the cars, to the technology department to make sure the quality is okay.
然后最后一个就是我们的一个量产阶段，这个 SOP 就是 Start of Production， 就开始就是去量产了。
So SOP means mass production.
然后就是对这个开发流程的一个整体的一个框架的一个认识，就是以下这几个。
Now I'd like to make summary of the development process. It includes the following 5 points.
然后特别是对于第2个点，不同开发级别的项目，我们要确定不同的开发周期。对。
I would like to mention the second point, that we have to determine different development cycles for different development levels, such as its upper grade, we have to maybe cost us 2 or more years. For a lower grade, maybe just to take us 1 year or less than that.
然后就是我们的每一个阶段性的一个目标需要达成，然后这个时间点非常重要，一定要在这个时间点之前完成。
And the fourth one, we will establish a milestone acceptance condition and make condition on the project stage according to the milestone acceptance conditions.
这个下一张。
Okay, so let's call it an end. That's what we would like to talk this afternoon. All right, anyone, and do you have any question to ask? Novita?
Second, first we have first question from Mr. Rajesh. Yeah, from Mr. Rajesh, you can start your question. Thank you.
Hello.
Okay.
Wait. Oh God, my computer got hanged. Wait a minute.
Okay.
I think I can't turn off my video. So is it fine if I just use my microphone?
It's fine.
Okay. Okay. It is fine now. Okay. Let me introduce myself. My name is Rajaswari. I'm a third semester student of STEKOM University. I have two questions. The first one, yeah, two questions. The first one, you said that the power source of the new energy vehicle is electricity. As we know that electricity is the source of the electricity itself, it is fuel. Then how can you say that electricity vehicle can reduce emission? Because as we know that the renewable energy contribution in the power or electricity supply, it's not in the satisfaction level yet. And the second one about how is the speed of the electric car? Is it can be faster or slower or maybe same as the fuel car? That is my questions. Thank you.
Okay, can I ask about your second question?
About the speed of the electric car. Is it same or faster or maybe slower than fuel car?
Okay. Okay, the lecturer will have a look at your questions. Okay, moment please.
看一下，第一个是为什么你刚刚说到新能源车可以做到零排放，不是用电也是一种能耗的这种消耗吗？
我刚刚
第二个问题是速度可以和传统的车一样快吗？
速度可以啊，速度可以和传统车一样快。
Okay, we would like to answer your second question first about the speed of the new energy car. It can as fast as traditional car.
特别是它的加速性能绝对比传统车还要快。
Its accelerating system is better than the traditional fuel car.
Okay, thank you. I'm waiting for the answer for my first question.
Okay.
然后第一个问题是什么？
就是新能源汽车，你刚刚说到能零排放。
那个是氢的零排放。
他说用电的是不是也是其实一种能耗？
用电现在是有这种说法，就是我们在生产电池以及在电池它的报废的处理过程中可能会造成污染，所以说它对于氢能源的电池来说的话，你如果从排放角度来说的话，肯定是氢的更好，因为氢它是氢气加氧气，只是这个水，所以说是可以零排放。然后对于新能源车，我刚才主要是提的是对于氢能源的汽车。
Okay, for your first question that you mentioned about the zero emission. For new energy car, it is said that there will cause some pollution about the battery. Yeah, it's a kind still have a kind of pollution to our environment. But about the zero emission, we mentioned that only in the hydrogen gas car, it's zero emission because its fuel is mainly about the hydrogen and the oxygen. So actually, it's like a kind of water. So it's zero emission.
What I mean is actually when we use electricity car, like the production of electricity car higher, so it means that it will consume more electricity, right? But as we know that electricity is the source of the electricity itself is pure from fuel, most of them for this recent day. So with the high of the production of the electricity car, so it means it will increase the production of fuel. So it means it will cause emission, gas emission for environment. That is what I meant actually.
说那不是还是要用电吗？那他可能在他们的概念里，用电不是有的时候还要用燃料吗？用煤气，或者是用
就是电池的你的生产过程中，或者是这样，它可能
他应该还不只是说这个，他可能是不是指的是，就是说你新能源汽车不是要用电？
对，
那这个电也是一种，其实是用
对发电的那个过程中的一个是有这种提法。
对，
马自达它就有提 是新能源这个。
他正在提问，他没正在提问环节。那怎么回答他呢？
他是问，
所以他觉得这个新能源其实不是新能源，就是说你其实还在用另外一种能源，说白了就这个意思。
这个，但是他就一直在纠结这个。那你就这样回答吧，就是我们政策包括政策方面能够控制它的一个在电池生产过程以及它电池报废过程，能够控制它的一个污染的一个这个。
不是，他的问题不是说到污染不是这个问题，意思是说，你说新能源汽车它其实只是，比如说用油其实是一种能源，新能源其实也是另一种能源，这两个意思是说它这个没有太大的差异。新能源你不是要用电吗？那旧能源不是要用油吗？他就觉得这两个其实都是一种。
那你可以没有啊？新能源你包括用氢，你能找到另外一种新的能源，它也算是新能源汽车。
Okay, so I would like to answer you that new energy vehicle actually will use electricity. You mentioned that electricity is also a kind of resource like fuel, right?
Yeah.
But in our country, we said that we make electricity by water, so it's much better than traditional fuel like the gasoline. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you. So there is another source.
Okay.
So,
yeah. Another
okay.
source. Yeah.
Okay.
Another source.
Okay. Thank you for answering. Good afternoon, everyone.
My pleasure. Okay, go on. Anyone has any question?
Thank you for answering. Maybe ya untuk para audiens mungkin bisa bertanya di kolom chat atau bisa langsung raise hand. I guess no one else is excuse me. I guess no one else is asking. Can I continue the session for coaching?
No one answered any question, right?
I checked anyone else.
You didn't find anyone to ask a question, right?
Just a moment, please. Just a moment, please. I will check first.
Okay, please check. 大家看一看，他们会有一个 chat board， 就是会有个类似于那种
信息
聊天平台。然后它上面
We have next question from Rizky Triatmojo regarding the material for making battery. Will the company only choose country with nickel means that meet operational standard? And what action can be taken for illegal means that do not meet the standards? Thank you.
Sorry, Novita, I cannot hear you clearly. Maybe because of the signal. I cannot hear you clearly. Or can you ask Josh to help you?
I am ready. Share this question in room chat. Maybe you can see
room chat.
If you want. Yeah, thank you.
好像在哪里有聊天室？共享声会议信息我找不到，它这聊天室在哪儿呢？
它参与者，你这个点开啊，看有没有。聊天。
啊，在这。Okay, regarding the material for making, for making battery, with the company only choose countries with nickel mines， 就是有镍矿的国家，是不是才能够做这个 make operations， 才能够达到它的这个操作标准，就是才会让你做这个新能源汽车。你这个国家没有镍矿，就不会让你。Can be taken for illegal mines。
新能源车的核心技术是三电、电机、电控和电池。这个包括特斯拉的它的三电技术，它也不可能公开的这种技术。
他说，
它这个只是它的一个上游的一个材料。
他说，比如我知道他们有提过这个问题，比如说，特斯拉会不会，比如说它不在印尼做，因为印尼没有镍矿，它就没办法生产电池，所以我不会在你这个国家生产。他要找那种有镍矿的国家，他在那个地方生产它的电池，它有偏向性。
偏向性，那这个也不能这样讲吧？我觉得。
但目前印尼是这样。
他就是他的企业，他现在他那边有没有一些特斯拉的那些在印尼有没有建厂之类的？应该也是没有。
没有。就是发现可能，或者说他的镍矿，他国家发现镍矿自己很少，然后就不让他们来了，也有这种。
那其实这有一个误导，其实你包括这个我们说的这些特斯拉这些作为一个主机厂哦，它是整合资源的一个东西，整源自合这一个企业，它的所有的像比方说它的那个都是通过采购过来的。那你如果是你如果是国家是镍矿比较少的话，这个我觉得应该不一定会影响到他们这个。
How to say? Maybe first of all, we don't think that only the country with nickel mines can meet the operational standards, because new energy car can include battery, electric motor, and some other electric engines. So if the country has little or no nickel mines, we think that they still can import. They can import the mines from other countries, then can develop the new energy factory. 还是可以进口吗？
对呀，可以啊，而且这个本来就是一个劳动密集型的一个产业，它并不是说单单一个这个就会影响。对。
Okay, Novita, any more question?
Yeah, this is question from live YouTube. I will say, or maybe I can write in room chat.
Okay.
You can hear me, right?
Yeah, you can type it on the room chat.
Okay, thank you.
Type it. Yeah, you can type there, then I can read it.
Yeah.
Well, the electric motor will be a trend in the future. 电机会是未来的一个趋势吗？因为目前在印尼 ，more use of electric motors， 电动车用的更多。motor 那应该是摩托车，电动摩托车。
电动车是两轮的嘛
？What do you think about electric motors or petrol and energy motors？ 就是那种传统摩托车和电动摩托车。Are electric？ 再往下 ，Are electric motors superior to others？ 比其他的要好吗？你觉得是就那种电动摩托好，还是传统的烧油的好？
电动摩托和那你如果是电动两轮的话，那电动车的动力性肯定是差的。
那你刚才汽车的性能是比？对，
电动车来说，因为电动车它体积大，它电池可以装得很大，它电机可以功率大，而且它避开了传统的一些机械，它消耗小啊，它电机直接带动减速器转。
那摩托不行吗？
摩托你两轮的摩托车性能肯定要比电动车两轮的要好，你空间摆在那里啊？能理解这个意思吗？你摩托车你肯定是你电动车，你想想它的电瓶只能放几个，那电瓶它的可能提供的能量就少了，那你这电动车怎么两轮的？因为我们电池很重的。
Okay, from our own opinion that we think. So here you mentioned about the energy motor. It's a motorbike, right? It's motorbike. It's a motorbike in Indonesia.
Yeah, you
mentioned the energy motorbike, right? And so
Yeah.
from our own opinion that if you compare the electric motor with the fuel motor, we think that the speed of the fuel motor will much faster than the electric motor, but the pollution will be less than the fuel motor. But the speed will not be so good. But currently in China, many people use electric motor because we mainly considered about the air pollution. So we use, and about the scarce of the fuel source. So we will not use fuel because it will do more pollution to the air. Okay.
Okay, thank you. I guess no one else is asking. Maybe it is enough. Maybe can I continue the session for closing? Because I still check we can don't have any question from our audience.
Okay.
Is it okay? Okay. Yeah. Finally we come to the end of event. So unfortunately, we already way of the time until 3 p.m. at Indonesian time, so sadly. And we would like to say thanks again for Mr. Lin Meibin from Fuzhou Polytechnic Chinese. For their information will be beneficial audience, and I hope we can meet again at other event. Thank you for our audience to join with us until at the last session. And I say thank you again to Mr. Lin Meibin.
Okay.
From Fuzhou Polytechnic. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you everyone. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye. So shall we say bye-bye?
Yeah, bye-bye. Yeah.
Okay, see
Thank
you
you.
next afternoon. See you tomorrow. Tomorrow we have another lecture, okay?
Yeah, see you at tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, bye-bye. See you. See you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. See you.
Thank you.
Bye. Everyone. Stop. Thank you.